Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was trained by samurai for sword style. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Solitary Winter and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Start. It was a cold dark night in the village of Kanahagakure no Sato. The streets were paved with silence, and the lights were all dimmed. Not a single movement was found on the roads, not even from the animal inhabitants. A little bit outside of this calm vicinity, on the outskirts of the village, there was a loud cry ringing through the forest. The voice belonged to a raven-haired baby no older than 2 weeks. He was currently wrapped inside of a blue blanket, while his brother was cuddling his tiny form. There, Sasuke-kun. Your Itachi and I-san is here for you. Everything is going to be alright. The 7-year-old said. As if the boy understood his brother's voice, he slowly stopped crying. Sasuke looked up into his big brother's obsidian eyes and gave a light laugh. Itachi was surprised his brother could sense feelings so casually, and from there on he knew just like him the boy would become a master of the Sharingan. Itachi looked down to his little brother, and gave a small smile. One day you're going to grow strong, even stronger than me, Sasuke-kun. Itachi thought to himself. He was abruptly kicked from his musings when a dense dark chakra enveloped the atmosphere, causing Sasuke to start crying. Itachi looked on worriedly while thinking about what could have caused that energy. He stretched his senses and felt where the disturbance was coming from. Oh man, that was some strong chakra. Judging from its intensity, one would say it was coming from the Namikaze estate. But who or what's chakra is that? He questioned. Sasuke kept crying and Itachi tried to nurse his little brother back to sleep. Geez, why do I get the feeling that something bad has just happened? I really hope I am wrong and it's just my imagination, the raven-haired boy pleaded. 5 minutes before Namikaze's mansion, a loud cry filled up the dimly lit room, causing the people inside to smile and cry. The voice belonged to a tiny spectacle named Naruto. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, with 3 accented birthmarks on each side of his face. The bundle of energy was born not too long ago, and already he gave the occupants of the room tremendous joy. The nurse that delivered the baby wrapped him in an orange blanket, and started cooing at him. Naruto made a baby's equivalent of a smile, and started laughing. Soon another cry joined Naruto, letting everyone know another one had plopped from Kushina's womb. The doctors wrapped the girl in a pink blanket, and gave her to Biwako. You're so cute, yes you are, she said, setting the second child into her mother's arms. Soon one more cry lit the room, and this one, unlike the other 2, had a tuft of red hair on its head. The doctor grabbed the child and wrapped her in a pink blanket before giving her to a nurse. Minato smiled seeing his children get cooed, and him being the softer that he was tried to reach for his heir to the clan. Minato tried to grab Naruto before Kushina got him, but Biwako, another occupant of the room, smacked his. You certainly aren't trying to hold the baby before his mother, are you? She asked him. Minato gave a goofy grin and sheepishly rubbed the back of his head. He then looked down to see his wife cuddling with their son. Kushina looked up and asked, Minato, what should we name him? Kissing her son's forehead. The elder blonde looked decisively before coming to a consensus. What about Jiraiya's idea, Naruto? He replied with enthusiasm. Kushina gave a light smile and looked down at her baby. Maelstrom, I like it. The redhead said, bouncing Naruto up and down. The boy gurgled in joy as his mother played with him, but she stopped remembering her other 2 children. Well then, what about the other 2, what should we name them? She asked, seeing the other 2 children rest silently in their father's arms. Minato looked down at them and decided 2 names for his 2 princesses. Okay, let's call the blonde Naruko, and we can call the redhead Natsumi, Minato said, handing each to Kushina while she let Biwako take Naruto to be clean like her daughters. She started bounding the 2 girls up and down calling their names, and the baby girls were laughing and whatnot. The happy family would have continued with their fun, but an excruciating yell resounded through the room. The 2 new parents looked up and saw a man with an orange mask choking the nurse who delivered their baby. The man threw the woman to the ground and vanished into thin air. Minato and Kushina saw him reappear behind them after a few seconds and were shocked by the object in his hands. Step away from the Jinchuriki or the baby gets it, he yelled. The man pulled out a hidden kunai knife and prepared to stab Naruto. Minato looked worriedly and said, wait, stay calm. Don't do it please. Minato already acted fast, teleporting his 2 daughters to the safety of his vacation house, and as he appeared again in a split second he looked at the stranger, who chuckled. Before speaking, the masked stranger looked up and replied, I am perfectly calm. While throwing the baby into the air, Minato used his godlike speed and caught Naruto before gravity started pulling the baby down. When he looked down he saw Naruto unharmed and let out a sigh of relief. He tried to turn to Kushina, but a sizzling sound caught his attention. Don't let up yet, the mysterious stranger whispered. Huh! Paper bombs, Minato thought. He quickly grabbed Naruto's still form and used his flying Raijin jutsu to teleport to his nearest kunai marker. The masked stranger gave a grunt and turned back to Kushina. And now for you, my sweet Jinchuriki, he voiced in melancholy. With Minato, the blonde Hokage appeared with Naruto on the short grass of the forest. He surveyed the area and then quickly looked back down to Naruto. Phew, he's relatively unharmed, Minato deduced. Man, that masked man is strong. He purposely used the paper bombs to lure me away from Kushina. I need to hurry, conjectured Minato. He snapped his head up and teleported to his mansion so he could rest Naruto with his two sisters. With Masked Man, Kushina was frivolously struggling against her bindings, but alas they wouldn't come apart. "NRNG, what do you want?" she challenged. The Masked Man just looked incredulously and gave a light chuckle. "If you must know Miss Jinchuriki, I want the Kyuubi sealed inside of you." "Now come on out, Kyuubi," he yelled, glaring his Sharingan into her eyes. Kushina felt an immense pain broad in her stomach, and she soon saw bubbles coming from her navel. With Kyuubi, Kyuubi has been chained to a boulder of molten lava for about 21 years. His host almost never communicated with him, and now he heard a voice call him out. "Kushina, Kushina, is that you?" He yelled. "What do you want, woman?" He never got a reply, but an ominous feeling resounded through the brisk cavern. "Kushina?" he pleaded. Still no sound came from the woman. The lava on his back started dripping of the rock, and after a few seconds his bindings loosened up. "Wretched woman, if this is your idea of a joke, it isn't funny. Get your accursed ass out here so I can devour you," he yelled. Once again Kurana heard silence. The fox turned his head to survey his surroundings but lost his mind when he saw a red eye with 3 comma marks inside it. "Damn it all!" the kitsune yelled. His eyes started spinning and soon 2 enclosed Sharingan eyes took the place of his slit ones. His chakra unconsciously leaked from the opening in the sky and he felt a great pull yank him from the subspace. Kushina and Masked Man. Kushina painfully watched as the beast that stood before her finished emerging from her stomach. If she had to choose between the pain of childbirth and the intolerable pain she was in now, she would gladly take the former. After Kurama finished forming outside the real world, Kushina's body fell slowly to the floor. The Masked Man turned his sights on the village behind him and began to walk away. "And for my final act we shall destroy Konohagakure no Sato," repudiated the Masked Man. Before he could start his second step, a whispering voice pleaded with him. "Wait, where are you going?" Kushina huffed out. The Masked Man turned to the bearer of the voice and saw it was the red-headed Jinchuriki from earlier. "Oh, so you're still alive? You Uzumakis sure have a lot of stamina," he inquired. "No matter, before I destroy that wretched village, I will kill you with the demon behind me, woman," he yelled. Kyuubi directed his attention to his previous jailer and poised his hands to strike Kushina. Seconds before Paw could smother the woman, a yellow flash appeared before her and grabbed her body. He then reappeared at another ceiling kunai behind Kyuubi. Minato, is that you? Are the kids okay?" Kushina rasped out. Minato looked down at his wife and replied, "Yes, they are in a safe place right now." Kushina's breathing swallowed and she let out a whisper of, "Thank goodness." The redhead gripped Minato's shirt and said, "Minato, you have to stop that Masked Man at all costs. He's going to obliterate Konoha." Minato looked at the man and jumped away in a yellow burst. "Ha, he flew away again," the mysterious stranger said. With Minato and Kushina, Minato reappeared with Kushina and carried her next to Naruto. Her other 2 girls instinctively latched onto her arms and cuddled with her. Minato admitted to himself silently that if this wasn't a lift or death scenario, then he would laugh at the cute scene. "Kushi-chan, please stay still, you must save your energy." "I will be right back," Minato insisted. Kushina pulled her baby closer to her and said, "Please be safe." Minato nodded and flew off again. Kushina looked down at the tiny bodies next to her and murmured a nearly inaudible Naruto. Minato Hokage Mountain. For the 4th time tonight Minato appeared in a yellow flash. When he landed, Kyuubi directed his murderous visage onto the blonde man meters away from him. "So you notice me? Give me your best shot, Fluffy," he yelled. Kurama glared and opened his mouth. A purple ball of swirling energy started gaining size from the numerous miniature balls around it. After about 10 seconds the ball was the size of Hokage Mountain, and Kyuubi clamped his jaws over the orb of destruction. "Oh shit," Minato cursed. Kurama threw back his head and opened his mouth, causing the death ball to go flying at the man. "Damn it, I need more chakra to teleport something of this size," he thought. Minato held his hands outward and the ceiling kunai in his hands started to glow. When the ball was inches away from Minato, it started to get sucked into a portal around his hands. Hiruzen was watching the spectacle on a nearby roof and was amazed that Minato finally finished his jutsu. "Wait, where could he send a ball of that size?" he questioned. His question was answered when an explosion resonated miles away from the village. Minato wanted to rest, but the Masked Man appeared directly behind him. Minato slashed at him like a madman and the kunai just went straight through him. The Masked Man tried to suck Minato into his vortex, but at the last second Minato teleported away. Empty forest. Minato appeared in the forest just as the Masked Man rematerialized behind him. Minato jumped and gave a spinning aerial kick, but it just went through the stranger before him. As he descended from the air, the Masked Man gave a punch that the Hokage was forced to dodge. Minato back-flipped away from the danger and accessed the situation. "If I attack him, he'll just go intangible for a few seconds, and by my count his time limit is 5 seconds apiece. So if I fake him out with some space-time ninjutsu, then he won't be able to dodge or go intangible in time." Minato thought, analyzing the Masked Man. The robed stranger whipped his arms behind him as 2 chained shackles glistened in the moonlight. Minato and the man both ran towards each other at the same time, but as they approached closer and closer, Minato took out a kunai and threw it at the man's face. The mask became intangible as the kunai just passed right through him, but he wasn't expecting the Hokage in front of him to vanish as he almost touched him. The man had pretty much zero chance to react to the high-speed teleportation, and he paid for it with a Rasengan to the back, cutting his connection to the Kyuubi. So he severed my connection to the fur ball. No matter, I have accomplished Phase 1, now to wait until the requirements for Phase 2 are met, he said to himself. Minato dashed to the man behind the mask, but as he was about to try his combo again, the man's special distortion kicked in, causing Minato to stop. It's been fun, Minato Namikaze, but sadly our fun must come to an end. If you live tonight, then by all means try and find me, but I doubt you shall succeed, the man said, vanishing into his wormhole. Minato panted as the man escaped, but then he turned his attention back to the malevolent chakra approximately 400 meters away from him. He sighed and flew off to the Kyuubi to see if he could seal the gargantuan beast into something, but he just knew he wasn't going to like the next part. Kyuubi's own Kurama was just released from Minato, and he was even more pissed than when he was inside of Kushina. Damn that asshole Sarutobi. He poked me with that pole and rubbed my fur way too hard, he said. Then almost instantaneously his face contorted into a frown, and he yelled out, that really infuriates me. Just for that this village will become a vacant lot, while a Baijidama charged inside his mouth. This particular Baijidama was different. Instead of the normal purple, it was pure black and considerably larger than usual. Before Kyuubi could finish his ritual, Minato slammed Gamabunta right onto his back. This further pissed Kurama off, and he prepared to fire the uncontrolled blast. However, today just simply was not his day. The overgrown bullfrog slammed his ass on Kurama's mouth, causing two things. One, he smelt toad shit, and two, the Baijidama collapsed inside his mouth, causing the ball to explode. Damn it, he groaned. Minato jumped off of Gamabunta while performing hand signs. Miyuma Hitsuji, serpent, horse, rat, ram. Minato landed on the Nine-Tails' head and looked up to the third Hokage. I'm sorry, he got out before a bright light enveloped him and the Nine-Tails. Minato appeared in his mansion and expeditiously grabbed Naruto and Kushina. Once he had a tight hold on the two, he teleported just in time before Kurama smashed into his house. He then reappeared seconds later, and in a huff gently set Kushina and his 3 children down. Huff, damn it, I'm almost out huff of chakra huff, he thought. Minato looked at the dew below him and asked them, are you okay? Kushina slowly woke up and nodded, and Naruto, like any good son, giggled. Minato put on a smile at his son's antics but had to stop when life smacked him in the face. Minato-koi, are you alright? Kushina asked. Minato looked to his right to see his wife lovingly looking at him. I will manage, he replied. I must stop Kyuubi. There are precious things that I must protect. Kyuubi stalked towards his prey, all while giving a shark-like glare. I swear I will protect my precious things, Minato rambled. He prepared to start the Reaper death seal but was stopped by Kushina's voice. Wait, Minato, I can still stop him, she yelled. Chains popped from her back and entered the ground. They came from under Kurama and ensnared him body in a complex algorithm network. It was when Kushina saw his seals that he got an idea to try out one of his other seals. I can seal the Nine-Tails back inside me and it will die with me, she said with tears. My only regret is she was cut off by Minato's determined voice. No, Kushina, listen, if you do that he will only reform to lay waste to Konoha again. I am going to seal half of him into Naruto, and half into Natsumi, he said. Kushina looked shocked before reprimanding Minato's idiocy. Fool, sealing something so malevolent in a newborn would only kill them. No, at most the girls can only take under a quarter, why even say such stupidity? Minato gave a light laugh and said, Kushina, look at where are. If you haven't noticed, this is the very clearing where I saved you. I am going to seal the Kyuubi in them with the half-talisman seal. That way, with the Uzumaki, healing and vitality will protect them, and not only will they survive but they will be like a super ninjas. Kushina looked at her girls and then Minato. Well, while your plan is brilliant, I still have to argue, the children needs a father figure, she yelled. Minato looked downcast. He looked towards Kushina and then looked at Naruto. Soon another idea struck him. Kushina, you just helped me. I can use that jutsu to re-energize our vitality with pure chakra, Minato exclaimed. Kushina was once again stunned by Minato's intellectual brilliance. That may actually work. That way we can both all of them, but what if you fail? She questioned. Minato looked at her and said, I will want. Kushina nodded and looked back down to her babies. She hugged them tightly and kissed their foreheads. Meanwhile, Kyuubi just got to Minato and Kushina and was about to strike, but the chains quickly tightened their hold on him and pulled him back down. Minato just preparing the altar, and he drew the last diagrams on the dirt. It was the same as a yin and yang circle but with multiple kanji, some in black and some in white ink. Here goes, he yelled, starting his long chain of hand signs. Tatsu na Hitsuji Inumiyu Itora Saratori Ushiuma. Tatsu na Hitsuji Inumiyu Itora Saratori Ushiuma. Hokage secret jutsu. Half talisman seal. Dragon, rat, ram, dog, serpent, hare, boar, tiger, monkey, bird, ox, horse. Dragon, rat, ram, dog, serpent, hare, boar, tiger, monkey, bird, ox, horse. The kanji started swirling around Naruto and Natsumi before snaking their way up to the Kyuubi, who was completely powerless to move. The letters acted like a blade and cut into Kurama's stomach while pushing out 2 ethereal figures. The first was a black fox with 9 tails and the second was a white fox with 9 tails. The body of the Kyuubi disintegrated, leaving nothing in his empty space, not even ash. Soon the 2 chains of white and black were pulled down into the twin girls' stomachs, causing a white yang seal to appear on Naruto and a black yin seal to appear on Natsumi. With the Kyuubi gone, the girls rested quietly as their father picked them and Kushina up at the same time. Minato looked at the girls and gave a small smile. So far so good. Kushina was out like a light and he had a good 30 seconds before he ran out of chakra, and his body needed rest from chakra exhaustion. Now for the re-energizing seal, he yelled. Mii Hitsuju Inu Notori Inu hand clap, Uzumaki forbidden art, half-life rejuvenation. The ceremonial altar rose up from the ground and the Uzumaki celestial god appeared before Minato. He nodded and pushed chakra into the Kage, and his wife certifying that they would live for a full lifetime. Minato Namikaze, for your fortitude and sacrifice today I will not take your soul. You children need you and I can let this slide seeing as they are from the Uzumaki clan, the god of death said. Minato nodded and commanded the hands to stop feeding them chakra. After a few moments it did and Minato felt better than he ever was before. Thank you god of the Uzumaki. Thank you, Minato said slowly. A bright light enveloped the area and the Kage fell asleep like his wife and children. The cloud of smoke surrounding the death god started swirling into Naruto's navel and then he vanished while silently giving a curse to the Namikaze family. The goo then encompassed Naruto's body and sank deep into his chakra network, changing him, making him into something different. What was he? Well, that's for later. It's amazing, the death god said looking at Naruto. He still has the Uzumaki chakra size and yet it feels calm and caressing like a senju's. This boy is going to be strong. I can already tell that now. But Minato, you fool, you should know everything has a consequence, a price that must be paid. I'll get mine, and oh, little Naruto boy has caught the eye of that guy, the god rambled. Naruto turned to the right and went into a deep sleep. He would soon have many adversities to face. After about 10 minutes the barrier fell down and Sarutobi rushed inside it. When he arrived in the middle of the clearing he found a sleeping Minato, and he saw the death god floating above 4 bodies. Sarutobi thought he slayed them but was waved off from the death god. Before you ask, no, I didn't kill any of them. Minato and Kushina have sealed Kyuubi into their daughters, and no, I have come to collect my fee from little Naruto here. Don't worry, he is safe from harm, but tell Minato when he wakes up that well, his family will never be the same, the Reaper explained. This calmed Hiruzen down, and he proceeded to call for Anbu to take the Namikaze family to their personal mansion. Just as he was getting ready to call for help, Minato mumbled, "Don touched my ramen," which caused Kushina to roll over and hit him in the head, while moaning, "Ramen good." Hiruzen's sweat dropped at his predecessor's antics and huffed out in annoyance. Minato, you and your family are one of a kind, I swear, he said to himself. That Minato always staying one step ahead. Still, I have to give him props. This boy will be strong and he will save this world, Sarutobi rambled. Naruto smiled in his sleep and the third Hokage picked him up. The Anbu backup arrived and they all picked up the Namikaze to jump them over to their home. Now let's get you to your nice warm home, young one, he said, walking away. Time skip week. Minato was busy taking care of his 3 children, and he found that task to be nearly impossible alone. Kushina would change a diaper, and then he would feed another. One wanted milk, and another needed a new diaper. One started crying and the other 2 started cry. Ugh, it was endless and Minato was exhausted from his trouble. Kushina was no better sitting on the couch nursing Naruto back to sleep as Natsumi and Naruto slept in the baby crib. After 30 grueling minutes the child in her arms finally ceased crying and now she put the little girl next to her brother and sister, causing all 3 so huddled together. Just as Minato was about to plop down next to Kushina, a poof of smoke appeared in front of them, and out of the smog appeared the legendary pervert Jiraiya. Kushina would have cursed him out if that long and annoying entrance he did woke up her children, but luckily for them the children were too tired to cry. As Jiraiya began to feel comfortable, Minato and Kushina really wanted to rid themselves of him so they could enjoy the very little break. Sensei, it's great to see you and all, but exactly why are you here? Minato asked Jiraiya while rubbing his blonde hair sheepishly. Jiraiya looked surprised at the sudden sharpness in his voice, but he decided not to drag out this little reunion any longer. His voice immediately grew solemn for what he wanted to tell Minato and Kushina. It changed again, he said sagely. Minato tiredly rose his left eye and looked at his longtime sensei. What changed exactly? Minato asked, with Kushina looking up also wondering what changed in this so-called prophecy. Just as she was about to add her own question, Jiraiya beat her to the punch by answering by telling them the riddle that the toads told him. 2 warriors will one day arise and save the ninja world, yet also they hold the potential to destroy it. These children shall have one key difference. One's energy is considered black and the other is white. One shall be born a little before the other, and both are of the same gender. These 2 warriors will come from 2 strong clans, yet against all odds thrown at them they will surely make the ultimately right choice. Both have some amazing heritage and also some amazing entity backing them up, and they will be trained at the same time. Minato went wide-eyed while Kushina looked at the baby crib in front of them. In short, the 2 of them came to the same conclusion as each other. They couldn't possibly be wrong, right? 2 parents can't possibly muck up a clearly obvious prophecy such as this one. It's the girls, isn't it? Kushina said more than she asked. Jiraiya just turned her way and nodded his head in agreement. I believe it's fairly obvious, since Naruto isn't a girl. So I believe in order to maximize their strength to save the world you may need to put off Naruto's training in order to attend to the 2 saviors, he said. Kushina started to glare darkly at the perverted sage, but Minato put a hand on her and told her his reasoning. Now Kushihan, wait a minute. If we train them then we can always come back later and train Naruto. Think about it, they are obviously the saviors. The blonde Kage said. Kushina couldn't argue with either of their logics, and as it seemed Naruto would still get training, just not when the twins would. Hopefully the boy would forgive them, sigh. Yeah, hopefully. Kushina took one last look at her son and made a decision that would start the prophecy of chosen heroes. It was said this very prophecy was given to the Sage of Six Paths and now it would start right here. This chain of events would not only affect the ninja world but also everything with 2 eyes, ears, a nose and a mouth. Okay, let's do it. Kushina said with a new resolve. After all, wouldn't you rather be known for training heroes than training nobodies? Baby Naruto let a tear drop down his eye. It was as if by divine intervention they were telling the adults that they should reconsider this decision. Oh well, this way is better. We get to see more blood. Story start. Today is a special day. Yes, it is the 5th anniversary of the Kyuubi no Yoko's defeat, and yes, it is also the day of the Kyuubi festival, though those aren't the reasons why today was so special. No, today is special because it is the Uzumaki Namikaze's twins Naruto and Natsume's birthday. Literally everyone in Konoha knows of today, and they all try their best to give the twins gift. But if you didn't catch the princesses outside on their festival walk, or you weren't on the party's guest list, then guess what, you don't get the pleasure of giving them a present. So on today many ask, who is this foreign boy that is always seen with the Namikaze family? Some try to friend him to get close to the family, and some just wish they were him, but neither of those actions work. This child, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy was none other than Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Naruto and Natsume's identical triplet brother. Some say he was just a known name that dresses up like the family to get on their good side, but so far none know the true story. Ever since Jiraiya and Minato made a public announcement about Naruto and Natsume being the children of legend, no one even knows a shred of evidence as to who this blonde bastard is. Naruto slowly walked behind his family with his head down. This is the 2nd year he can remember not getting any recognition on his own birthday. Nope, just a happy birthday Naruto from his mother and father. They didn't even call him son, but that's not the worst part. No, it gets better. When his sisters get thousands of gifts, guess how many he gets? You could say that since he was the oldest he must then get twice as many, right? Well no, that's wrong. No, you can count on your fingers how many presents he get. The number is 2. One is from his dad and one is from his mom, and this is something his sisters capitalize on. They usually end up saying this, "Ha, Naruto and I baka, I told you, you aren't special." That comment comes from Naruto, while Natsume, the red-headed one that tries to somewhat be friendly, makes it worse. She'll say, "Sorry, Naruto and I couldn't, but I guess you'll have to try again next year. Maybe then people will think you're special." Yup, life was great. Chores, barely getting leftovers, being the most punished because your sister blames stuff on you. Yeah, that's the life. You really couldn't ask for a better one. Doesn't matter if I did ask because no one is going to grant it, Naruto thought to himself as he walked forward with his head down. Since he wasn't really watching where he was going at the moment, he crashed into a man who was running after his pet dog. On impact, Naruto fell backwards and Minato and Kushina turned around to see their oldest on the ground. Kushina, being a mother, rushed to her downed son and tried to deduce if he was okay. Naruto knew not to cry, since he found out the crying wouldn't make it any better. Minato, finding out that his son was fine, turned to the merchant. One Wasabi Biscuit stopped and apologized frequently. "Hey, don't just stand there, take out your checkbook and offer to pay for my son's yukata. That thing was very expensive," Minato said, glaring daggers at the man. The poor merchant gulped and nodded earnestly, seeing the dirty yukata. "I'm terribly sorry for hitting this child, Lord Fourth. Of course I will pay for all the cleaning and damages for the yukata, and then I will send you another one as compensation," he said pleadingly, but inside he was freaking out. "I just hit a boy, and not any boy, the 4th Hokage's supposed son," he thought, sweating bullets. People all around were having similar thoughts, many questioning if the boy was legitimately the 4th's son. Many saw the resemblance, and were shocked at the identity of the boy. He wasn't well known, so he mustn't be that special. Naruto stood up and dusted himself off while his mother stared at him to see if he was fine. Finding he was, she smiled, but then she heard a snicker behind her which later turned into full-blown laughter. "Haha, look at Naruto and I," Naruto said, with Natsume joining in the laugh. People all around joined in as well to get on the twins' good side, while Naruto felt an invisible tear snake from his eyes. Kushina, not really being such a great judge of character, heard his hollow laugh and genuinely thought it was one of joy. The laughter subsided and the family walked off with Minato questioning Naruto on what was going on. "Hey, Naruto, how did you hit him? Were you not looking where you were going?" Minato asked in a fatherly tone. Naruto looked over to the man he calls father and answered his question truthfully. "No, father, I was lost in my own thoughts, so I wasn't exactly paying attention to the road," Naruto said. Minato thought he was at the point where he could joke around with his son, so he did. "Well then, runt, next time look where you're going, or are you going to pay for a 100,000 real yukata that the man from before can't possibly afford?" Minato said with a tone that meant trouble. Naruto couldn't sense the joke, so he did the one thing his dad said he didn't like seeing him do. A straight tear dropped from his face and he said, "No, I'm sorry, father, but it was too late." The tear hit the floor and Minato glared at Naruto, getting serious. "What have I told you about crying?" Minato demanded, seeing his eldest son let loose the waterworks. Kushina was too far ahead to notice what was going on and come to Naruto's rescue, and his sisters were in the same predicament. You said Huff you don't like seeing your oldest son Huff cry. That I have to. Huff stay strong to protect my sisters, Naruto said, breathing in from strained intervals. Minato had enough of the waterworks, and he got pissed at Naruto. Look, stop crying or you'll be in your room for a week again, Minato said, frowning at Naruto. By now Naruto couldn't control his tears and they kept sliding, making Minato madder. Okay, since you don't want to stop, you're in your room for the rest of the night, so don't come downstairs for your birthday. Keep at it, and you won't get any resents too, Minato yelled. Kushina turned around just to see Naruto cry out a no to his father, and his tears automatically stop. Come on dad, please, I don't like going to my room, Naruto said, tugging on the man's yukata, but Minato wouldn't have it. Kushina tried to come to Naruto's rescue, but the damage was already done. Dear, don't you think you're being too rough on him? He isn't as resilient as Naruto or Natsumi, she said, making Naruto's inner turmoil boil over to a new point. Minato looked at Kushina and sighed while putting his foot down. Kushi-chan, if he is the oldest and my only son, he needs to learn to toughen up. The boy will get over it in about a week, Minato said, walking off with Natsumi. The girl gave Naruto a sad smile as he continually wept tears. Kushina stood Naruto up and took his hand before not long after she let go, feeling him slightly tug away from him. She took this as a sign that he was good, so she walked forward, leaving Naruto and Naruto to their own devices. See, I told you, Naruto, she said, rubbing ionized salt-coated and lemon juice in his wounds. Not special, she said, making Naruto start to break. She walked ahead and Naruto just stood there staring at his family as one of his latent tears dripped from his face. Unknown to Naruto, these would be some of the last tears to ever grace his face, for after today he would be a different boy. Let's just hope this change is for the better. Later that night, Minato felt kind of bad for how he had treated Naruto earlier, so he decided to end his punishment early and let him go down to the party. But unknown to him, this would only serve to make things worse. Naruto sat in a corner alone and reading a picture book while Naruto and Natsumi went around and conversed with their friends. These friends were asking who was the blonde boy always around them. Seriously, how could you not think this was our brother? Thought Natsumi as she explained that Naruto was her brother again. This just led them to thinking that he wasn't anything special, and though Natsumi didn't want to, she agreed Naruto wasn't all that special either. Time passed and eventually it was time to get presents. Naruto was nearing the 100th while Naruto just reached her 87th box for her. Minato, seeing Naruto look down, decided to give him his present. Naruto, shocked seeing his father in front of him, saw he had a box wrapped up and giving it to him. Naruto told his father thank you as he ripped the paper open to find another box. He opened it excitedly only to see that it was a stupid toad-shaped wallet. Naruto, being the grateful child he was, told his father thank you even though he thought the gift was absolutely lousy. Kushina came up after him and gave him a slightly bigger box, and Naruto unwrapped this one with slightly more gusto. Her gifts did always seem better than his dad's anyways. As Naruto got to the box, he noticed it was the same size as the one his dad got him. Fearing the worst, Naruto opened it hoping for something different, only to sigh in his head at the sheer ludicrousness of his mom. It was the exact same frog wallet, but the only difference was this one had a few Rio bills inside of it. Naruto closed his eyes and did his notorious big fake grin while thanking his mom. In honesty, Naruto thought both gifts to be last-minute gifts, and actually he was slightly wrong. No try last second. They literally bought those at the same stand while they were out walking, not noticing they both bought the same thing. The only difference was Kushina put a bit more thought into hers, stuffing a meager amount of money inside of it. Great, another rotten year of me not being special enough, Naruto thought, with his inner turmoil raising into critical levels. Just one slight push in the wrong direction and he would snap. Well, at least I'm still the heir to both clans. At least they can't take away my birthright. I can finally start training next year as my right. If they did take it though, well, I don't really know what I'd do, Naruto thought. Everyone, I have a very special gift that goes for both of my dear daughters, the saviors of this world, Minato said, with everyone cheering before letting it die down as he went up to his two girls. He put on two familiar rings, one on each girl's finger. Naruto wondered why those rings looked so familiar, but his question was answered by Minato's next announcement. I give you Naruto, the sole heir to the Namikaze clan, and Natsumi, the heir to the Uzumaki family, Minato said with loud cheering, and the crowd broke out in screams. Kushina herself was extremely proud. In fact, she was too proud so she forgot her oldest child who was in the corner wide-eyed. Those were mine. He told me that only I can be the heir since I was the oldest, and it was my birthright. My birthright, my line, my right of age, and mine alone. So why did he just give it to my sisters? Naruto thought, tearing up slowly. He suddenly heard many voices in his head at the same time, pushing his grief higher. Kill yourself, boy. Your father doesn't love you. Ha, see, boy, your mother hates you. You are a failure, you're not special. Even in your own parents' eyes you are nothing, a nobody. Go once, stick yourself in the heart, jump off a cliff. Yeah, that's right, jump off a cliff and join the other world your parents said all dead people go to, the voices said continuously. Naruto couldn't take it anymore, and he ran out the side door of the house that was left open. He ran right past the guards and up to the Hokage Face Mountain. He kept going, he couldn't look back now. If he did, he was sure something bad would happen to him. Though being 4, he didn't question running with his head down and tears in his eyes. He just kept going until he was knocked unconscious by a couple of low tree branches. He would stay sprawled out like that until morning time, 8 a.m. Naruto woke up and looked around. He saw that he was in his special playground, as he called it. Here he would come every morning at around 7 a.m. to about 9 a.m. before one of his parents found him, and told him not to leave without permission. It was his birthday yesterday, and as a 5-year-old he would be off the hook for the rest of the day. Then however he was reminded of yesterday's events, and those same voices came back. Why stay, boy, you're practically dead to them. Just jump off the cliff ahead of you and be done with it, they said, making Naruto edge towards the cliff. He looked over it, and shook his head trying to boost his will, but it just wouldn't be. As much as I don't like my predicament, I don't want to die. I can still get my parents to acknowledge me as special. Naruto thought to himself. He was doing good fighting the urges, but the voice came back, and this time driving him insane to just end his suffering. He was too far gone already, and he soon realized if he did die nobody would really miss him. They'd grieve for a day and then after a while they'd get over it. See, you're thinking it, so it must be true. Why don't you just jump? That way you can see if your father and mother really care, it said, causing Naruto to cry a few tears at the truth behind the words. Nobody would miss him, a nobody, so by jumping he would just free himself from his restrictive cage and be done with it. God, it would be so easy. All he had today was take a step further, and then it would all be over. Just one step and no more blaming him unjustly, or stupid week-long punishments. As Naruto's depression skyrocketed, he started putting one foot forward subconsciously, and soon he would lose his balance and fall forward. Just as his mental barriers had weakened enough for him to go through with it, the ground below him loosely fell apart, making Naruto and part of the cliff fall down the back side of the Kagestone Mountain and into a strange ravine. I'm falling. Am I going to die? Naruto thought as he fell through the ground and closer to the ground. Just as his body was surely going to splatter against the hard granite flooring, some godly force stopped his fall, causing Naruto to open his eyes. I fell from up high, so am I dead? Well, I'm not touching the ground, so maybe I'd become a ghost, he thought to himself. Naruto looked and noticed he wasn't able to see through his skin like the transparent ghosts in his storybooks. Okay, not a ghost, and probably not dead, so why haven't I hit the floor yet? Naruto asked himself, looking up at what was stopping his fall. The answer was amazing, and Naruto knew that whatever this entity, whatever this being was that was holding him, was some kind of otherworldly force. Naruto could almost feel the aura that the entity exuded, and he was sure that this being was super powerful. The being holding Naruto was ghastly in appearance, like the Shinigami years ago, yet strangely it looks nothing like him. Where were the purple horns? Where was that pale purple face that reeked of death? This being surely didn't have them. No, in fact this being glowed a bright blue and had no definite body. For eyes it had two azure glowing pools of light that had a radiance that could attract any being into them. You couldn't really see in the cave, but the being didn't have a head. In fact, it looked like it was wearing a hood that only showed its eyes. The body was the same way as the entity floated above the ground. He was holding Naruto with a strange blue arm that you could see through, yet you couldn't. All over the body of this being were trillions, upon quadrillions of lights floating around in no particular fashion. The entity touched Naruto's head with his other arm, and instantly Naruto went wide-eyed. Wow, I get it now, Naruto said, jumping out of the semi-massive blue hand. You're the thing responsible for it all. You're like your god, aren't you? You are the creator, Naruto said, seeing the entity do a semi-nod. It then snapped the two blue fingers attached to the arm that used to be holding Naruto. Around Naruto and the entity the cave lit up, and he saw the universe, but he didn't know it yet. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, I am a being of many names: Allah, Buddha, Jacob, Elohim, Kami, Father, and even God. You may call me the name I give myself. Call me the creator, the entity said in a voice that was neither masculine nor feminine. Naruto could only nod dumbly as he stared at the reason he and everything in existence was here. Naruto, my boy, I have just finished watching your small life, and I want you to know that despite your parents and everyone else, you are special. You just don't know it yet, but you will. You are one of the children of prophecy, the creator said, causing Naruto to have a mini heart attack at this revelation. The being of creation said he was the chosen child. Well, that was amazing. Listen, my boy, for I must leave to go to another matter after this. You are special, and this room you see before you is called Alpha Prime A, or as your people know it, this is the universe, the creator said, making Naruto go wide-eyed. Those lights before, they weren't ordinary lights, they were stars. The creator was literally the walking universe. But if he was, what would happen if Naruto hit a star? As Naruto tried to touch a star, not knowing that it was the very sun in the sky, the creator stopped him. I wouldn't do that, my boy. That's your son. Put it out, and I won't be able to recreate another for a while, so you'll unknowing doom everyone, the creator said, stopping Naruto in his tracks. As I said earlier, you are special. How do you think you unconsciously found me? Who do you think made the Uzumaki god? Who do you think made him tell you to go to the cliff? It was I, the creator, and now it is time to give you your belated birthday gift, the entity said, causing Naruto to slightly cry. Child, do not cry. It pains me to see my own creation in such sadness, and I'm sorry for how things are going so far, but I'm here to make you stronger because it is going to get a whole lot worse, the creator said, while Naruto stopped crying and looked down. Naruto was reeled into a hug by two glowing blue arms that comforted him, giving him serene thoughts. Now, my child, before I go here, take my hand, and I shall bestow upon you my wonders. You shall receive the powers that belong to a now extinct warrior race. As your birthright and as your free gift as savior of the world, I shall bestow upon you a special skill that will unlock deep inside you in time. I'm very sure you will get training today just like your significant other. In fact, the training just arrived in Konoha. I must go to the other savior, please hurry, the creator said, holding out the blue glowing hand. Naruto took his hand and fainted as an influx of information hit him. He saw several men and women dressed in black Shihakusho wielding swords with massive power. These blades used an energy unlike chakra, but Naruto was sure when he used it they would radiate with pure chakra. He saw them all fighting giant monsters with white masks, but one word that most of them said stuck out to him. What's a Bankai? He thought, falling fast asleep. Yes, sleep my child, for you will need your energy to save the world. You now have the power to create. I hope you can use it to save the world, because it is going to get a lot tougher from here on out. Better hurry to the other savior. But first let me drop Naruto boy off on the surface, the creator thought, floating up with Naruto sleeping in the two glowing arms. As he set Naruto down, a strange sword appeared behind him, making the creator sigh. And now it begins, huh? Well, I hope this is enough to stave off that evil, or else my entire creation, my universe is done for. For now I need to head off to the second savior and bestow upon them their birthright, even though they will end up taking a darker path in life, the creator said with a sigh. With that, the being just vanished into nothingness, and Naruto slowly awoke to see a pair of unfamiliar sandals standing over him. He shakily looked up to see a graying elderly man wearing samurai armor look at him. Naruto smirked before letting darkness embrace him again, and the old man gazed at Naruto. This kid, where did he come from? All evidence says he just came from that gorge. Could he be the one that fortune teller told me to teach? He has blonde hair and blue eyes, and I meet him by a strange gorge. Maybe I shall train him. The man though, while leaning Naruto against a tree and setting up a place to make some outdoor tea. With the creator, other chosen savoir. But why choose me? Why not my other sibling? Why am I destined to save the world? A voice said, standing behind the creator. The creator itself was now read a compliment, the aura of the person in front of him. You were made because of the need. That need was the one to eradicate you, ancestor, before she can come back and destroy the world. You must, or it will be the end. Listen, my child, take my hand and I shall bestow upon you all the power you will ever need. I know you will walk a dark path, but be sure to protect your significant other, okay? You two are my last resort to stop her, the entity said, reaching out with a red arm. The person in front of the entity contemplated before taking the being's hand, and they were filled with knowledge they previously didn't have. People were moving the elements as if they were one with them. 4 races of people that desperately needed to unite under one banner, and yet they did eventually. They breathed fire like most ninja do, they willed water, made the very earth crumble, even made the air subject to their will. Yet one of these stuck out to the person. This person could do it all and probably more. What's an avatar? The person said, falling out. The entity caught his other child before they could hit the cold hard tatami mat. The creator laid them down gently and spoke. Now be good, my child, for now you have been bestowed a gift just like your helper. One has with shape manipulation that puts all others to shame, and the other has elemental manipulation that even the gods couldn't dream of. You two are my pride and joy, my children. Now go and follow your own paths. Though you may both end up hating your place of origins and even your deepest origins, you shall come to accept them, and in due time forgive them. But for now, my angels, rest, and I shall take care of thee until it's your turn to take care of something for me, the creator said, vanishing from the child's room. Just what is going on? Why is the creator of even the gods doing these things? And what are those threats the chosen two must deal with? One thing is for certain, things will definitely get tougher from here on out. Back with Naruto. Naruto woke up to the smell of jasmine tea with a hint of honeydew. He looked around and noticed the elderly samurai man from before sitting in front of him sipping tea, with his eyes closed. Strange, Naruto thought before trying to slip away. However, the man spoke without even opening his eyes. He could tell by the change in Naruto's breathing that the boy had awakened. And where are you going, my young friend? Do you not wish to drink your cup of tea? The man said, speaking to Naruto. The blonde whirled around to see the man still sitting with his eyes closed, so he thought he was talking to himself. With that in mind, Naruto tried to leave again, only for the man to stop him once again, this time with the same verbal request fro before. Are you sure you don't want any tea, my blonde friend? From seeing your earlier expression, you seemed in a troubled emotional state. Tea will calm your mind, the man said, speaking directly to Naruto. The tea is directly to the right of you. Take a sip and let the energy within you flow peacefully, the man said once again. Naruto was stunned, thinking the man was blind, but he was proven wrong when the stranger opened his left eye and looked before closing it again. Naruto sensed that the man was very wise, so he did as asked and took a sip from the tea. As he did, he could quite literally feel a weight leave his mind and chest, and he relaxed. Ah, see, tea makes it better. My young friend, I have a question for you. Well, actually 2, and I will ask them one at a time. Is this okay? He said while taking a slow sip of his own tea. Sure, yeah, I'm okay with that, Mr. Naruto said, leaving it out for the man to finish. Please, lad, call me Mifune, he said, making Naruto relax. So Mifune-san, what would you like to ask me? Naruto asked him, trying to see if this guy was some kind of rapist or something, because if he was, his mother taught him to run and loudly scream for help. First, I will ask you a personal question, blonde child. Would your name happen to be Naruto Uzumaki? Mifune asked, trying to see if that fortune teller was correct. Naruto looked at Mifune skeptically before nodding, which Mifune smiled at. Good, and assuming you came from out of that gorge, did you have that sword before you went down there? Causing Naruto to go wide-eyed. What sword? He thought, looking around surprised to see a weapon like that leaning on a tree next to him. Naruto was genuinely shocked as he didn't have anything to say on that. You don't need to answer any more, Uzumaki-san, I have my answer. But now answer me another question. Would you like me to train you in the way of not only the sword but also the scrolls left inside of the sleeve of your shirt? Mifune asked, seeing Naruto look and grab the scroll too. What this Uchiken and Uchi no Mai, Naruto thought. Universe Fist, and Dance of the Universe. Naruto thought over the question and realized that the creator must have slipped him the sword and scrolls, seeing that they were all universe themed. Question was why, but then he realized that it was simply because he needed to save the world. So with that, Naruto knew his parents wouldn't be training him anytime soon since he was no longer the heir and he couldn't really learn sword techniques alone. Plus he had nowhere to train without prying eyes. Yup, he made up his mind. Mifune-sensei, I thank you for this humble opportunity. When may we begin? Naruto asked, seeing his sensei nudge him towards a slip of paper that had a strange seal on it. Teleport. Naruto-san, around the world in the various countries there are a few of these teleport slips of paper that high-class individuals such as myself use to travel long distance in short time. Today I will help you unlock your chakra and then you shall learn to push it into this pathway so you can teleport to and from the Iron Country without any suspicion. For now let's begin lesson 1, Mifune said, sitting down in a meditative pose. Chakra is the essence that all living things give off constantly no matter what. So guess what? Everything living, you, me, the trees, even that colony of ants behind you possess chakra, and it grows with experience and time. Today's lesson is a basic ninja and samurai skill, and that is drawing out your chakra and learning to direct it into these 12 hand signs. Mifune said while Naruto felt something appear and he felt Mifune's power. It is impressive you can still stand with the amount of chakra I'm putting out, but I am only putting out about 5%. Now watch closely, these are the 12 hand signs and how to draw out chakra. Most beginners form the ram sign and then try to feel a pull in their gut, but with experience you will no longer need to do this, so now you try. Mifune said, showing Naruto the ram sign. Naruto accidentally put his left hand above his right, but Mifune quickly corrected him and Naruto concentrated deep within him. He felt a massive pull and the calming yet strongly embracive aura extrude from himself. This boy, in one try, not only unlocked it, but Mifune gaped as he felt Naruto get closer and closer to calling out his chakra, and Mifune could honestly say his energy had a very comforting feeling to it. With Sasuke Uchiha 2 hours later. Now Sasuke, since you did so well unlocking your chakra and since you have so great control, I think I shall teach you your first technique. Call it the Uchiha rite of passage if you will, but mastering this technique will let you earn the ability to wear our insignia proudly on your back. Watch, for I shall demonstrate once, and then my little brother, I want you to try, a raven-haired teen said while his brown-haired father stood quietly behind him. The child Sasuke nodded, seeing his brother go through several hand seals at a pace slow enough for Sasuke to follow. Though it wasn't his fast speed nor did he put much chakra into his jutsu, the result was still amazing. Tora Saru I Ushitora, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. Itachi inhaled a large gallon of air before building up the chakra in his chest for an amazing burst of energy. Then using fire manipulation he pushed the flame chakra in his throat before igniting it at the top of his throat. Sasuke watched as his brother exhaled a flame the size of a desk. The continuous flame kept going until Itachi cut his chakra flow, ending the technique. Now don't get upset if you mess up. The Itachi's words died in his mouth when he saw what Sasuke was doing. Sasuke flew through hand seals before stopping on Tora. The speed was easily high Genin borderline Chunin speed, and that deadly accuracy. Itachi just knew his brother would pull the jutsu off when he saw that. Tora Saru I Ushitora, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. Sasuke's fireball was significantly bigger than Itachi's kid-size flame ball. Though Itachi only put 1/10 of his chakra into the attack, it still paled as he sensed that Sasuke put the exact same amount as him into the fireball. He knew Sasuke had 1/3 the chakra he did, so Sasuke only put 1/3 of his strength into the attack. Still the result was amazing. Sasuke spat out a house-sized fireball which made Itachi seem like the moon compared to the earth. Fugaku Uchiha, whom was both of the brothers' father, was not only impressed but stunned that his younger son was so in tune with fire manipulation to that degree. Sure, there was pretty much no shape manipulation to the fireball jutsu, but still the fact that a 5-year-old can put 1/3 his own strength into an attack and it be significantly bigger than his oldest was amazing. This boy was a prodigy, and he was shaping up to be better than Itachi. Sasuke cut the flow of chakra to his attack and the jutsu ended with him huffing out in exhaustion, a small wisp of smoke coming from his mouth as he gathered his strength again. Sasuke, that was amazing. You definitely mastered. Itachi was cut off by Sasuke's hand going up. No, and as you can see, my control was deplorable. I put more chakra in than I wanted, so my ball came out bigger than yours. No, I suspect in 2 more tries I will master this technique, Sasuke said, analyzing his faults. Itachi's eyes went up in surprise. He easily pointed out his own mistakes, and they were all the same ones Itachi himself was going to say. Fugaku was impressed, but his amazement rose when he saw his boy going for the hand seals again. Tora Saru I Ushitora, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. This time Sasuke put in the correct amount of chakra and he breathed out a ball of chakra that was slightly bigger than Itachi's. 1/6 this time, he mastered AC rank Jutsu in 2 tries. Itachi thought while Fugaka too was seeing money bags and mission scrolls in his eyes. This boy would surely bring the Uchiha back to the pinnacle of its life cycle, and he could even help in the revolt. These dark thoughts laced Fugaka's mind, unaware of the events to unfold in 3 years. Sasuke this time got a feel for his chakra before gathering it just like he did the previous 2 times. His control shot up rapidly, so of course now the need for seals has become almost moot. With that in mind, Sasuke carefully shaped his chakra before igniting it at the top of his throat. He then inhaled life-sustaining oxygen before getting ready to exhale. Itachi and Fugaka had miniature heart attacks at what Sasuke was doing, but for Fugaka he soon saw more money and mission scrolls. Fire style. Fireball Jutsu. Sasuke exhaled a fireball that was slightly smaller than Itachi's first one, yet this one had more flare and heat to it. Itachi fainted while Fugaka gave a hearty laugh. Oh yes, his plans would be perfect. All he need do is corrupt Sasuke's mind and he has a mini weapon that can demand what he needs done. Sasuke cut the flow of chakra to his technique before falling back while thinking. Is this the extent of my power? No, it's not. I need to refine it and improve my control, and then I will make my dreams come true, Sasuke thought to himself. Fugaka caught his younger son before he hit the ground and held him while going over to his oldest. He never saw the air slightly distort behind him, nor did he see the dainty black fog that seemed to vanish like cotton candy. Naruto 10 minutes later. Naruto had trained for a while and well, his control of his chakra was not where he wanted it to be, but strangely he felt very in tune with his chakra, but he summed it up to it being extra weak. That was not the case, as he soon realized he was doing things that he heard Ninja and Eve Mifune-sensei say were nearly impossible. His shape manipulation was amazing for anyone, especially a kid his age who just unlocked his chakra that day. Naruto just finished using his chakra to spell out his name. His chakra had a slight green tint to it as Naruto wrote his name, but it soon went back to its default blue. Naruto's name shone brightly above Mifune's head and Naruto laughed as his teacher's mouth just went lower and lower. This kid is so young, yet he can do shape manipulation like he's had years of practice. Man, I just know he's the one I'm supposed to train. Well, at least he can't send chakra into the tag. That way we can work on his control back in the Iron Country. All he has to do is hide a tag in his room and poof, easy access to and fro each place. Mifune thought, seeing his pupil play around with his chakra. Okay Naruto, that's enough for today. Rest up and tomorrow remember what I told you. At 9 on the dot, push chakra into the slip of paper and it will teleport you to the Iron Country for more training. If your parents ask, just tell them you are playing for a while, and if they don't believe you, the seal has a sensor that tells when foreign chakra is entering your room. We can just send you back and boom, no suspicion. Now remember, we go from 9 to 7, got it? Mifune said, packing up his tea kit. Yes Mifune-sensei, got you loud and clear. I shall see you tomorrow, Naruto said, picking up his blade. He was going to take it and the scrolls home, but Mifune stopped him. Wait Naruto, I know you just got the sword and scrolls, but let me take them. You may get mad, but I have a good reason. See, if your parents see you with them they will ask questions and you don't want that, do you? Mifune said, seeing Naruto sock his head. Good, don't worry, you have my word as a samurai that nothing bad shall happen to your scrolls or your sword, and I promise no one other than you shall ever view the scroll, Mifune said, bowing to Naruto. Naruto bowed back to his sensei before looking at the sun. Mifune taught him to read to time of day just off of the location of the sun, and Naruto approximated that it was 10:20. Yup, his parents were going to be mad. Bye Mifune-sensei, see you tomorrow, Naruto said, running off with the tag in his hand. As he went over the horizon, Mifune quietly thought to himself, that boy, he will change the ninja world. I just know it will be in a good way, he thought before pushing chakra into the tag and teleporting to the Iron Country. End. Story start 2 years later, Naruto age 7. For the last 2 years many things have happened around the ninja world and also the real world. The Iron Country became strictly neutral to the rest of the world. Kumo tried another attempt to get an Uzumaki but failed miserably. But that's not all. In Konoha specifically, some very bad things, or good from a certain perspective, have happened. These last 2 years, the Namikaze Uzumaki triplets all started the academy. Their daughters more specifically got more training from their parents while Naruto was left to his own devices. Naruto would however not just lay down like a dog and give up. No, he has been spending these last 2 years going to and fro the Iron Country for sword training and fighting training. He has almost become an expert in his style, but, well, it always wasn't like that. Flashback. A panting Naruto sat and Mifune sheathed his sword again. This would make 19 tries today just to get his draw speed up, and there were a few times where he was simply too slow, giving him many cuts on his torso and arms. The medics would of course heal him before he went home, but honestly this training was taking just too long. Ugh, I have tried everything with you. But it seems I cannot train you as I did my 5 elite samurai, Mifune said while walking away. He left Naruto there, and the boy got sad thinking he wasn't special enough to be trained like an elite, so naturally he went to the dining hall to eat his troubles away. He opened the kitchen door and got some crazy ideas to get food. Hiya! He yelled, drawing his sword with expert speed. The tip cut open the instant ramen packet, and the noodles all neatly fell into the bowl in nice neat rows. Naruto then jumped 10 feet into the air and started whirling around at super high speeds, kicking all the salt and spice boxes accurately, make each drop a pinch of it into the bowl. Naruto then fell to the ground and started chopping parsley at speeds rivaling the great Mifune himself. As he did all this, he barely noticed Mifune standing there wide-eyed and gaping at the display that the 5-year-old was showing. Naruto turned to see Mifune and started chopping slower as he and Mifune stared at one another. Naruto chopped slower and slower until he just came to a stop and asked Mifune a question. "What?" he said in surprise, hoping his master didn't see all that. "Oh my god, interesting," Mifune said and thought at the same time. Mifune just turned to leave before whirling around and facing Naruto one last time. "I just thought you'd like to know that there was specially salted beef onigiri on the top shelf," Mifune said, walking away slowly, but he quickly hid behind the door as he heard Naruto rush for the top shelf. Mifune then came back in the open to see Naruto throw the meat into the air before jumping up and quickly drawing his sword faster than Mifune could see. He then sliced the sealed meat open and quickly chopped the bits into ramen-sized proportions before kicking them into the bowl. Mifune made himself known as he looked at Naruto sticking to the wall with his chakra. "How did you get up there?" Mifune asked, genuinely confused how this 5-year-old boy could jump 10 feet into the air and stick to the ceiling while doing a basic chakra control exercise, and on top of that draw his sword with expertise only masters know. Then after all that, cut up the contents at speeds rivaling his own and let them fall into a vat of food. It was mind-boggling. "I don't know, I just saw what I wanted to do and I did it," Naruto said sheepishly, rubbing his head. Mifune's eyes almost blew out their sockets. This boy has such great visualization that he can think up some moves and then not only that but make them happen. Ludicrous. Yet he has done it easily and I now see how he learns, Mifune thought while looking at Naruto and then to the food. You train harder when food is involved. Interesting. Come with me, Mifune said, ushering Naruto outside. They walked for a while until they reached an area with a small pool and many stones that looked like sword fighting poses. This place was very strange indeed. Naruto tried to take a dip in the pool but Mifune tugged him, causing him to stop in mid-jump. "Naruto, we do not swim around in the sacred pool of tears," he said, making Naruto back up and start shooting off many apologies. "Do you know what this place is?" Mifune asked, seeing Naruto shake his head negatively. "This is where the very first samurai learned to forge blades and to fight with the way of the sword or kendo. This is the birthplace of sword combat," he said, making Naruto almost choke on his air. The blonde then looked around and saw many ghostly warriors training, drawing swords, hacking, slashing, ducking, fighting with Itsuba. This was so surreal. Mifune jumped high into the air and landed on a boulder slab. "Do you want to learn kendo?" he yelled to Naruto. "Yeah," Naruto said, amazed. "Then I am your master," Mifune replied back with more intensity than the first time. "Okay," Naruto said as he started sniffling. This was the first person to really try and help, and now he is teaching him the way of the sword. "Don't cry," Mifune said, with Naruto replying okay. Naruto eventually stopped crying and Mifune led him to a grassy area with little to no snow. "When focus on kendo, when you concentrate you stink." Mifune started making Naruto deflate. "However, I realize you are a child, so you probably like games still. I cannot train you, I have trained my 5 elites. Instead I will train you with these," Mifune said, holding out different food dishes and various ramen bowls. "So, you're going to make our training a game?" Naruto said / asked excitedly, with Mifune nodding. "When you have been trained then you may eat," Mifune said, eating a dumpling with his chopsticks. Later, Naruto was doing sit-ups on a tree while Mifune stared with a bowl of dumplings. Naruto was promised he could get a toy if he could successfully finish 200 sit-ups in a minute, and guess what he did? Now he was still going, but sadly gravity took its toll and the branch the two were sitting on snapped from their combined weight. Naruto fell, catching the dumpling bowl and allowing the sweat treats to fall in, but the loose branch snapped again and he hit the ground, with Mifune having to catch the bowl and dumping with his sword. Month later, Naruto's training was going nicely. He has almost gotten the basics behind kendo down, and with training he could master it. He was now starting to learn the uchinomai, but first his master gave him a ramen bowl and he was blindfolded. Naruto has learned to sense people by sending out a pulse of chakra that wraps around them, giving him an exact shape and measurement of everything going on with the person. Looks, heartbeat, motions, emotions, and he calls this ability Kenzen Kenshi. Complete sensory. So even though he was blindfolded he could still see, even though he couldn't see. So as Mifune sensei handed him the ramen bowl, Naruto took it and immediately jumped back. He tried to take a bite, but Mifune was more skilled than he was. The samurai quickly slashed to the left of Naruto with a wooden sword, but the blonde blocked it. Mifune used more speed to appear to the right and give an upward slash, but Naruto blocked with one hand again. However, Mifune tripped the boy up, causing him to fall from losing his balance. The bowl hit the floor, its contents slowly leaking into the grass. "Never lose your balance, remember that, my disciple," Mifune said, helping Naruto up. 2 months later, Naruto has become an expert at kendo, and now he started getting the basics for the uchinomai down. The first dance was Nagaraboshi no Mai, dance of the shooting star. Naruto starts with both his legs bent at 90 degrees and parallel. He then accelerates forward at a rapid pace, aiming for the 2 joints in the arm that allow movement of the forearm. Or he can aim for the leg joints. He either strikes them with a punch or slashes them with his sword, stopping movement. Once this has happened, he can hit the center of the solar plexus, knocking the enemy off balance, and cause them to fly back. So far he can hit one of Mifyun's joints, but he is much too slow to hit the other in time, so the swordsman always counters. Currently Mifyun had a dumpling in his hand and he was keeping it away from Naruto, who kept trying to strike his joints swiftly and accurately. Though the samurai hasn't looked in the scroll, it doesn't mean he doesn't know how to prepare and train Naruto on how to achieve each stage. Naruto swiped furiously as he kept trying to get the dumpling, and this time he grazed Mifyun's right arm joint. He then swiftly hit his left arm, making Mifyun smirk, while Naruto figured out the secret. So speed and aggression like a tiger, the boy thought, continuing to graze Mifyun, until eventually he could start landing solid hits. 3 months later, Naruto's kendo training has gotten better, and now his expertise is slowly getting better and better. In a few years he would be a master like his teacher before him. He has learned to successfully initiate the Nagaraboshi no Mai, and he can now pull the technique off 2 out of 10 times. His Kanzen Kenshi is getting better, and he can use it quicker and further than before. He has also developed a new move called Taido. Multi-movement / high-speed movement. Naruto pulls this off by pushing chakra from his feet. Yeah, you can say that's regular speed, but see, Naruto can move at speeds rivaling Shunshin doing this move. The further back he shoots it, the fast and further he will go. Only he can do this because the shape manipulation and strain would kill just about anyone else. Mifyun is currently training him to instinctively change the directions of the chakra and the intervals he can move them in. To rectify his problems, he is doing muscle-up push-ups over a hot flame. It trains his core to take heat and pain, and also it makes him instinctively use Taido to get out of harm. He was promised a strange action figure for his hard work, but Naruto saw the action figure was one of him. He smiled as he continued pushing quicker and quicker till he looked like small blurs. Mifyun sat proudly watching his student grow stronger. The boy was like a sponge. 6 months later, Naruto's birthday was yesterday, and he absolutely hated it. His mom got him rubber shuriken, and his dad forgot, so he ran / teleported to the closest store and bought the first thing he saw. Guess what he did better this year? He got Naruto a target board, which was absolutely useless with rubber shuriken. The twins started their training and Naruto had nothing to do, so he teleported to the Iron Country where they threw him a private birthday party. He got many gifts, but now he wanted to train. His Kenzen Kenshi has gotten much better. He can now sense everything in a 2-mile radius, and also he can use it longer and faster. His kendo slightly got better, making him a medium expert, but he still had a long way to go before he was a master. His Taido has also improved, to where the movement truly looks like Chunin speed, borderline Jounin speed, but Naruto uses up way too much chakra using it, so he is training to increase his chakra, decrease the amount required, and also increasing the speed. His use of Nagaraboshi no Mai has vastly improved to where he can hit Mifyun with it within 2 seconds, but he still misses strikes sometimes. Also, his last palm thrust to the stomach is too weak and lacks power and balance behind it to knock an enemy off balance. Naruto started learning Nizanai Suki, second transition moon. The way to train in this one was balance. Naruto hits a stationary enemy in the chest with enough force to stop movement. Then, like the moon, he rotates around the person while spinning himself and hitting various parts of the body to make blood rush too high or too low. He then can use gravity to make the person fall back with just a breath. To train his balance to get the first step better, and the second step learned was by him standing on a mountain, while holding many plates and items on his body without using chakra. He has already nearly fallen 12 times, but he's starting to get the hang of it. 4 months later, Naruto has started to master the Nagaraboshi no Mai and started perfect the Nizanai Suki. But with the Nizanai Suki he can't quite get Mifyun's blood to all flow in the right direction. He can slightly hold off Mifyun going at 25% of his power, but it still isn't enough. Naruto's Taido has improved tremendously, but it still isn't ready for combat. But his Kanzen Kenshi is. His kendo is now getting even better, and he can almost feel him mastering it, more and more. Right now he has started learning his final bloodline, sword-style movement. It is called Sugi no Mai Kuruzu, Final Dance Black Vortex. Naruto runs around the enemy so fast that any chakra they use is automatically sucked up and shot into the sky. He then cuts nearly every part of the body or breaks nearly every bone possible, causing confusion and death in less than 10 seconds. Right now he is lacking the speed to successfully pull the technique, and also he doesn't have the control to maintain the speed or to hit the body correctly. To fix this problem, Naruto has been doing survival training in the woods with weighted clothing. He has 50 points on his whole body, while Mifyun has none. It took him 2 months of training to get his speed up to par, and now he is trying to reach the kettle pot filled with his favorite ramen, while blindfolded. Naruto checked left and right before running out to the pot, but he couldn't sense Mifyun, who was hiding behind a chakra barrier which they discovered he has no way to get around. Only a Hyuga could see one and even possibly get around it, but he has done good and come for even though he isn't a Hyuga. He got the ramen quickly, but Mifyun appeared behind him running, and Naruto was forced to take a slightly painful hit to his torso, but he shook it off. Mifyun gave one to his midsection, but he was ready, and he kicked the sword away with his foot before unsheathing his sword and blocking a side slash to his left arm. He then backflipped and tried to eat while curled, but he still hasn't perfected his balance, so he paid the price when Mifyun tugged his leg and he fell, releasing the ramen bowl. Mifune caught the ramen and then he slurped the whole thing down while laughing at Naruto. Naruto lunged at him and Mifune hit him while he was still in midair since Naruto hasn't learned to actively use his center of gravity to change his aerial direction. Naruto gave up while Mifune laughed and slurped the ramen juice. No toy this time, but you do get advice. Never forget, you are in control of your center of gravity. Use that to your advantage, Mifune said with Naruto sighing. 6 months later, Naruto has now mastered with Nagaraboshi no Mai and his Nizanai Suki is coming along nicely. He can now control where he directs his opponent's blood to as shown on a samurai dummy when he direct all of the blood in his brain to go to his throat. Guy needed acupuncture therapy to fix his problem. Naruto has perfected his Kenzen Kenshi to the point where he can send out a lighter pulse that hits a target and spreads out, proportionally by the target's mass. He can now do it to inanimate objects so he can almost fight while he is blind. His Taido can now be used to evade in combat, but he still hasn't gotten used to attacking with it. Naruto has started incorporating his moves with the Uchiken, and it's really just like using the Uchi no Mai without a sword. He has remastered the dances but he still hasn't gotten down the Tsugi no Mai Kuruzu. He cannot really maintain the speed so he has come to the conclusion that since his body is so young it can't cope with the speed and strain he is trying to move at. He and Mifune have decided to wait before starting Jounin speed training. Chunin would have to do for now. He was now currently refining his skill but fighting Mifune who was going at 45% of his full capability. But Naruto was still losing badly. 2 months later, Naruto has almost become a master in Kendo, and all he really needs is to learn a few more techniques before he is truly a master. His speed is still at Chunin but that's pretty good for a 7-year-old. His Nagaraboshi no Mai has been mastered for both the Uchiken and the Uchi no Mai as well as his Nizanai Suki. He has only mastered the Tsugi no Mai Kuruzu with his hands, but incorporating a blade into it has become a very hard challenge. He still needs more speed but right now he is just relaxing with his teacher talking over his problems. His Kenzen Kenshi usage has improved and his radius is now 3 miles which is about the length that a baby using the Byakugan can see. His Taido usage has improved greatly and he can now do a few moves with it, one of his favorites being the multiple jab thrust and another being his favorite prank, the afterimage. He need to improve his own speed if he wishes to get to the point where he can move so fast he appears to not be moving at all, but it is too soon for him to try. So right now his Tai and Kenjutsu are around high Chunin and low Jounin, while his Nin, Gen, and Fuinjutsu are almost non-existent. Mifune told Naruto he was only instructed to teach him the way of the sword and a bit of taijutsu, so that was everything he pretty much knew. Samurai don't do Nin or Genjutsu and Fuinjutsu. It's too early for Naruto to learn that. Things in Konoha are getting worse. Children are starting to blame Naruto for things that they do and Naruto has no way to disclaim their accusations with an alibi because no one really sees him and such he is always the prime suspect. They could have let a Yamanaka mind walk him, but then that would reveal his training and his knowledge of the creator, which was bad. Right now he was on punishment for 2 months since he broke S very expensive, an old vase. His punishment was extra chores and then when he goes to his room it was sealed up like a jail cell. He became more and more depressed but Mifune was always there to cheer him up and it did slightly. Right now he was banned from going downstairs to get dinner for the night so he naturally teleported to the Iron Country for training. Mifune and Naruto were in the woods and the samurai made a fresh batch of dumplings for Naruto. He sat down and picked up his chopsticks. After you Naruto, he said nicely. Naruto was surprised that Mifune was offering food without some kind of a challenge. Whoa, what? Just like that? No sit-up challenge, no 10-mile hike, no blind sword fighting? Naruto asked genuinely confused. Mifune smiled and waved around his chopsticks while talking to Naruto. I vowed to train you, and you have been trained. You are free to eat, Mifune said with false honesty. Naruto sat down in confusion and Mifune smirked getting ready to combine everything Naruto learned into one. Naruto suspiciously picked up his chopsticks before looking around and then he suspiciously picked up a dumpling. He looked at it strangely before Mifune tried to hose down the boy's suspicion. Enjoy, Mifune said with Naruto finally letting down his guard. Final lesson, never let down your guard, begins, Mifune thought. Naruto tried to put the dumpling in his mouth but a figure zoomed past him at high Jounin speed while grabbing the dumpling. Naruto felt the wind and saw Mifune sitting in his spot eating a dumpling he picked up quickly. Hey! Naruto shouted seeing his dumpling vanish and his suspicion rise. I said you are free to eat, have a dumpling, Mifune said with his same fake kindness. Naruto reached and quickly reeled his arm back while grabbing a dumpling but Mifune slowly swatted the dumpling into the sky and then ate it quickly. Naruto glared as Mifune started swallowing the tasty morsel, and soon the two had a glare off. You are free to eat, Mifune said darker. Am I? Naruto asked, with Mifune replying are you? Mifune spun his chopsticks quickly and Naruto made a war cry. Naruto used his Taido to quickly bash his hand against the table making the dumplings fly into the air but Mifune being the quick man he swiftly grabbed all of the dumplings, but one. He and Naruto eyed the last one but Naruto's hunger took over and he jumped into the air while opening his mouth to swallow the dumpling whole. Mifune quickly got up and snatched it away with his chopsticks, while Naruto fell to the ground. Mifune tried to swallow the dumpling, but before it went into his mouth Naruto poked 2 holes into it, and hit it in the almost gooey center make it fall to the bowl and jiggle like jello. If he was paying attention he would have noticed he just perfectly pulled off his Nagaraboshi no Mai on an incredibly small object. Mifune and Naruto fight it out with chopsticks, but Mifune gains the advantage and flips with bowls over. He then starts to shuffle the bowls around at high speed to try and confuse Naruto. Look, I can see it so I can slow it down. Concentrate. Focus. Naruto thought, watching the bowls move around in multiple circles. Naruto hits a bowl with enough force to stop Mifune, and then he gives a cry of success before whipping his chopsticks around the man's hand, hitting all his left hand finger joints. Mifune had to stop, giving Naruto enough time to reach for the dumpling. Man be just pulled off his Nizanai Suki on my left hand, and it was so precise, Mifune thought to himself. He quickly threw his chopsticks to his right hand and battled Naruto once again with his chopsticks. They were both evenly matched until Mifune caught the upper hand and kicked the bowl to the sky, causing the dumpling to fly at a tree. Naruto tried to grab it instinctively using Taito, but he was a bit too slow so he missed. Mifune then threw a chopstick at the tree, impaling the dumpling there for a while. He then tried to jump on Naruto, and then jumped to the dumpling, but Naruto had gotten a little faster, and this time he reached out and grabbed Mifune's left leg and pulled the man down to the ground. The dumpling started falling to the two had to fight it out under the tree. Mifune grabbed Naruto's arm and flipped him, but Naruto mastered his center of gravity so he flipped in the air and got a kick out of Mifune, who had to let go. Naruto landed on his, but just as the dumpling fell from the chopstick, Mifune patiently waited for it to fall and he would catch it, but Naruto pushed him out of the way and then made a hungry grab for the pastry. He opened his mouth wide, but it simply would not be as Mifune stuck his chin with the chopstick. The dumpling rolled until Naruto hit it into the air. Mifune saw it and kicked it forward, sending it and the fight downhill. He smirked seeing Naruto quickly run after it, so he grabbed his sword seeing as Naruto already had his. Naruto was about to catch the dumpling, but Mifune kicked down at him, and then he knocked the dumpling back into the air. Mifune came down trying to strike Naruto's leg, but the boy quickly drew his sword and parried the offending slash. He then kicked Mifune back, who had to flip in air to land on his feet. Naruto jumped and then hit the dumpling into the sky again, while he landed and clashed with Mifune. He separated quickly and spun around only to end up clashing with the swordsman again. Mifune saw the dumpling landing again, so he slashed towards Naruto's arm, but he blocked it. So Mifune settled for kicking the dumpling back into the sky and going around Naruto to get his back. Naruto quickly turned and then he knew what to do. Tsugi no Mai Kuruzu. Naruto ran circles around Mifune at Genin speeds and then quickly kicked it up to Chunin speed. He then started slashing his sword and quite a few nicked Mifune in his arms and legs. Naruto saw a chance to disarm Mifune, so he reached the tip of his blade out, and his momentum made Mifune release his sword. Naruto then jumped into the air and gave a single palm thrust to the dumpling, making it follow Naruto to his landing spot. Naruto landed and then stuck his sword out to catch the dumpling, which landed neatly on the tip. Naruto and Mifune both looked surprised before Naruto had to pant from the amount of energy he just used. Mifune smiled that his student not only used every technique he knows to get the dumpling, but he also managed to figure out how to use his black hole technique with the sword. Mifune got even more surprised when Naruto threw the dumpling at him and said he wasn't hungry. Sensei, Naruto said, respectfully bowing to Mifune. Mifune bowed as well, seeing Naruto come so far. Flashback over. Naruto sighed as he left the academy. Today was another boring day where he was kicked out of the academy for no reason. His teacher Iruka genuinely thought he was the one. He snuck attack into his chair, but when Naruto tried to prove his innocence, Iruka got mad and sent him out. He didn't really care, thought. The academy was useless and he would have to hold back as to not draw suspicion as to where and how he got so strong. He could say he watched his sisters train, but then again, they haven't learned 1/10 the things he knows, and yet they're the chosen saviors. Yeah, this world is retarded. As Naruto walked home, he heard his mother yell at him to take the garbage out. Naruto had almost forgotten that for the next month he was on punishment, which got worse each time. Now when he is sent to his room, not only is the door sealed, but now they have movement sensing seals, so basically his every move is recorded. He could still teleport, but he just has to be careful or else he could get caught. I'm beginning to wonder if they even love me. I'm starting to really dislike this family, Naruto thought to himself, pulling the garbage outside and then throwing it into the bin for garbage. He then stalked back inside and up to his room for the night, unaware of what was to transpire the next morning. Saturday 11 a.m. Naruto woke up and sighed. It was Saturday, so he really didn't have anything to do today. He was going to teleport to the Iron Country, but his father called him down to the dojo. Naruto got up honestly thinking they were going to train him, but as he got to the dojo he saw his sisters there, and he scowled seeing that he wasn't getting training. Morning, Naruto. I called you here because I just want to show your sisters a demonstration for a technique, Minato said while Naruto looked closely at Minato while Natsumi shuffled from seeing their dad try out a technique. Minato had this seal developed for 2 reasons. The first was to teach it to his daughters, and the second was to teach their son a lesson. Minato had his index finger extended and he touched Naruto with it while saying one word to shock them all to the core. Restraint restriction seal. Naruto immediately screamed in pain as the seal lines traveled across his skin, each one feeling like a tattoo was going across it with the intent to hurt him. Naruto smirked seeing Naruto get put in his place, and Natsumi frowned seeing her brother subjected to that kind of torment, but it was for the good of them, so it was acceptable. When the screaming subsided, Naruto lay on the ground shaking while the seals finished burning themselves into his skin. They would fade after a few hours, but the result was pleasant to Minato. With this jutsu, if either of you go berserk, or you need to take down a foe way too strong for you, this will help. I just used on your brother to teach him not to break people's stuff, isn't that right, Naruto? Minato said firmly while glaring down at Naruto. The blonde made no sound as he glared at the feet above him. He saw them leave as he was still on the floor in agony, that bastard. After 10 minutes, Naruto wobbly got up and hobbled to his room. It was official, Naruto would have to find a way to make his father pay for his transgressions. And oh, he would find a way. 2 years later, Naruto age 9. These last 2 years have been rough on Naruto. Minato somehow found out he had the ability to break out of his weaker seals, and kids had pinned more and more blames on him, truly making him out to be the pariah of the village. Ever since Minato found out, Naruto has been under watch and kept under much stronger seals that he couldn't possibly break out of. It's like he was a prisoner, and his mom actually agreed with this punishment. Naruto became cold, dark and distant. He still helps out people who need it, but now he always needs a reason to justify his actions. His old Nindo changed, gone. Now all that was left was this shell of a once proud and happy boy. Naruto would usually find himself helping out animals the most, since the people of this village torment them so. From helping out animals, it was like karma paid him back, and in the form of scrolls, and he just got a scroll for jutsu that was classified as fuinjutsu, yet there really weren't seals. Nope, the only seals were the ones etched into his arms, and they could never be removed. The strange scroll he got one day called them Bakudo, or whatever, but Naruto never called them that, he only called their names. His favorite one so far was number 81, Denku, which was splitting void. His seal made the air turn into a very strong plexiglass, and he couldn't be harmed from that side. The scroll he received also at the bottom, that when he rediscovered what it means to fight for what is right, he would get the Hado scroll. Naruto was confused at what it meant. He saved people and creatures all the time. Naruto continued walking home, already mastering all the Bakudo he wanted from the scroll, so he lit it on fire, feeling he was an expert on the subject. As he was about to turn a corner, a white and blue blur shot past him, and after it were 3 teens with red fawn-like markers on the sides of their faces. They were chasing after a poor innocent kitten, so naturally Naruto stepped in and stopped them. He pushed his energy into the seal that was inside his body, and a yellow energy glowed from his fingertips. He then traced out 3 triangles in the air before calling out the name of his technique, Shitatsu Sansen. The 3 teens never stood a chance. The 3 triangular energy-shaped binders stopped them from moving as Naruto went over to the kitten that had a bit of bleeding on its right hind leg. Naruto glared at the 3 and used his ultimate shape manipulation to make the 3 triangle binders release. Swear, said Naruto, who was glaring at the 3 boys. The energy binders stopped crushing them for a second. Swear on your life you will leave this cat alone, and never speak to anyone of this encounter, and I shall let you go, Naruto said, now looking at the cat. The 3 boys looked at Naruto like he was an idiot before one showed clear defiance despite still being tied up. Yeah right, get real and release us, kid, and we won't hurt you, one spoke who was clearly the leader. Naruto smirked, sending out his Kenzen Kenshi and feeling the boys' real intentions. He then released all 3 of them and turned his back, daring them to try something which they foolishly did. The 3 boys tried to tackle Naruto to the ground and pummel him, but they were traveling at genin speed, while he could move just as fast as most Chunin. He easily dodged them without using his Taido, and then he spun around and struck one in the chest while speaking. Ikatsu, single bone strike. The boy he hit flew straight into the wall behind them, leaving spiderweb cracks along the wall. He couldn't move as the pain was unbearable. All he could do was blink in pain. To still be able to blink even after I hit him with that. He was stronger than I thought. Next one I hit I will put more strength into it, Naruto said, looking around at the other 2 Inuzuka thugs. The other 2 slightly feared Naruto, but one decided to grow balls and try to throw a kunai at Naruto. Let's just say the blonde surprised him by walking forward as the kunai sailed at him. Denku. The wall made the kunai easily reflect back at the boy and caught him in the gut, making him keel over in pain. Naruto slowly stalked up to the supposed leader of the group and smirked as he intimidated the boy. Boo! He said, making the boy jump back and draw a kunai. Listen, take your friends and leave, but never tell anyone of this encounter, for if you do, I will murder you and your friends one by one, Naruto said, making the boy dash for his friends and get the hell on. Naruto turned back to the cat, who was looking at Naruto with a slight fear and acceptance. The cat did a meow, which Naruto guessed was a thank you, and Naruto picked the animal up and inspected its legs. I don't know medical ninjutsu, but she only has a few scratches here and there. I can fix this, Naruto said, putting the cat back on the ground. He took out a salve that he got from a store and put it on the ground. He placed it on the small nicks on the cat's legs and then took out some medical tape and wrapped its legs up too. After Naruto was done, he noticed the cat was purring, which he knew was a sign that it wanted to go with him. I don't see anything wrong with taking you with me, and besides I want to make sure you heal properly, Naruto said, putting the cat into his shirt and walking home. Let's go to my room, little one, Naruto said to the cat as he prepared to walk away. He would walk, but he noticed a scroll that appeared in a black fog that had the words Hado on it. So all it takes is a little compassion, and that is a reason to be a hero. Thank you for the lesson, Creator-sama, Naruto said, picking up the scroll and walking away. Story start 2 days after Naruto saves cat. Naruto walked outside as he felt today was the day he should let the cat go back to her owner. This cat has been strange anyway. It was almost like it could understand him, and he strangely could understand her. Even more when he picked her up to figure out the gender. Her reaction was scary. No balls, so you must be a girl cat, he said, but 5 seconds later he ended up a scratching post. Yup, that cat was crazy, and out of all the animals he saved, this was the only one who reacted to him trying to figure out the gender of the animal. After that whole fiasco, Naruto sighed and took the tape off her legs while she stared at him with those deep blue eyes. Just as he unraveled the last string of tape, the strange cat somehow knocked him over and started licking his face repeatedly as a way to tell him thank you. Naruto sighed once again as he set the cat down and said his goodbye to the animal. Goodbye now, and run along, little one. I'm sure your mother is worried sick, but if you need help just come back and I shall take care of you, Naruto said while ushering the cat to walk away. Naruto, seeing the cat not move, walked away, and when he thought he was out of her hearing range he spoke quietly to himself. That is one strange kitten, Naruto said. Hey, who are you calling strange? A miniature voice said, making Naruto turn around and try to locate it. He searched frequently before giving up and turning back around. Seriously, idiot. I'm right here, you can't miss me, just turn around, the voice said, taunting Naruto again. Naruto once again whirled around and he only saw the cat sitting there looking at him. Naruto, thinking someone was playing a prank on him, shouted to the bushes. Could whoever is pranking me come on out? I don't want to have to activate my sensory ability, Naruto said. No, seriously, I'm right here, the voice said, making Naruto look at the cat this time. He inched ever so closely to the cat while scratching his head. His face was right in front of the cat as she just stared at him. Did you just talk? Naruto said, poking the strange blue and white cat. Who else is here, idiot? The cat said, making Naruto's eyes roll to the back of his head, and he fell out. Oh great, he really is an idiot, the cat thought while trying to gather her thoughts. 10 minutes later, Naruto was starting to come to when he noticed he was still in the park where he had dropped off that strange cat. Man, was that a dream? If it was, that was some crazy dream, Naruto thought. For a minute there I actually thought a cat had talked to me. I must be going crazy, Naruto thought before looking around and seeing the same cat from before standing above him. Naruto looked suspiciously before poking the kitten, who somehow looked at him stupidly. Are you stupid? The cat said, making Naruto back up in fear. It wasn't a dream, you can talk. You're a talking cat, Naruto said as he freaked out. The cat had a miniature sweat drop on her head as the boy ran around stupidly. Ugh, clam down, idiot, I mean seriously, you do realize all animal summons can also talk, but hey, here's a thought, maybe if you use that sensor thing you told me about, then you'd realize I'm not a cat, the cat said, making Naruto wonder if the sky was falling. Slowly the cat started growing, and then after a full 10 seconds at full length, Naruto said it was a beautiful blue-haired girl with eyes bluer than his. She had the figure of an average 9-year-old girl, but Naruto, being a boy, shielded his eyes to be modest. Will you put some clothes on? Naruto nearly yelled. Oops, forgot to unseal my clothes first, she said, running her hands over a seal that was on her arm. She then pushed chakra into it, and out came a blue outfit that she zoomed into. Is this better? She said, making Naruto open his eyes and look at her. Yup, this little girl would definitely need to beat off the men with a stick when she was older. Her eyes alone could melt even the hardest of criminal convicts' hearts, not to mention her generously light skin tone. Listen, Naruto. Yeah, listen, Naruto, I just wanted to, The girl stuttered to tell Naruto what she wanted as her face got redder and redder. This part was so difficult for her, but she felt something nudge her forward, and right there she planted a soft kiss on his left cheek, flustering the young blonde. Thank you for saving me and protecting me. Catch you later, she said, running away with a bright red face. Naruto was too stunned to even ask her what her name was. It didn't matter. From the way she was jumping away, Naruto deduced that she was probably in the academy like him, so he would probably be seeing her later. Dang, still gotta wonder who that girl was, Naruto thought, rubbing the spot she kissed recently. 4 years later, in Konoha, many things have happened over the past 4 years. For one thing, and this was major, the once great Uchiha clan was brought down to 2 members in a single night. The reason was unknown to the general public, but everyone knew who had done it. It was none other than Itachi Uchiha, the Uchiha prodigy and brother to another well-known prodigy, Sasuke Uchiha. Since that night, Sasuke has obtained his Sharingan and kept it well hidden, but in one of his spars with Naruto, the Uzumaki boy caught a glimpse of it and smirked. More has also happened. Like pertaining to Naruto, he finally found out the identity of the mysterious blue-haired girl from before. Her name was Aoi Megami, and she was an academy student in his year, though she only joined his class during the final year. Not much was known about her family other than the fact that they all died in Kirigakure, and they could do strange stuff with their bones. All but her mother, who only died 4 years ago, 2 days before Naruto found her. Naruto at first wanted to approach her right off the bat, but he decided against it, and would let her make the first move. She hasn't taken it yet, but Naruto has been known to see her glancing at him from time to time with a familiar red hue. More things have also happened in Konoha, like for instance Naruto has become an expert of the Heido and Bakudo seal techniques he got, and with Mifune he also learned something that he would consider his greatest sword attack yet. It was called Nijirasen, double helix. See, his body has finally matured enough for him to properly train it in speed and strength, and naturally he did, raising both his attributes to high jounin level. Nijirasen was a byproduct of his speed increase, and as such he can move very fast while making it seem like he isn't moving. He can also use Taito to create afterimages. But the new move he learned allows him to move so fast that it appears as if it is two of him, and the move in a spiral, or double helix. It delivers 2 pokes and a slash all in the span of 1 second. Though many good things have happened to Naruto over these last 4 years, many bad things have also happened. For starters, the adults don't like him, thinking him to be the one playing pranks on him. But that's not the half of it. Now his punishments have increased, and as such the seals have as well, meaning now they are using seals to immobilize him and make it hard to move. So far he can't escape his current one, so every time he goes to his room he can't move unless one of his parents release the seals. His academy grades are horrible, since the teachers obviously dislike him, and that is simply because the amount of lies and false evidence stacked against him. Naruto really can't do anything about it, or he risks getting discovered, and that was something he would not allow to happen to him. He has already finished all his other exams, but right now he had the final, which was 3 main tests. The first was a written test which he was kicked out for because someone had tampered with the testing materials. Next was the taijutsu portion, which he was currently doing. He had managed to make it to the final round using his fake academy style, but he knew that it wouldn't cut it against Sasuke. He decided that he would need to reveal a bit of skill to pass, but that would be okay. If both opponents are ready, leave the recognition seals and begin the match, Mizuki said seriously, hoping the blonde lost. That would teach him to put tar in his sandals. He had to cut the sandals off his feet and buy another pair. Naruto and Sasuke both dropped the recognition seal and each dropped into their own stance. Sasuke dropped into the interceptor fist and Naruto got into the Uchuken stance. He then bent his knees to begin the Nagaraboshi no Mai, which started with him rocketing off at Sasuke. The Uchiha was slightly shocked by Naruto's speed, so he activated his Sharingan and tried to predict the blonde's move. He saw the blonde moving his hands for his elbow joints, so he did a backflip and evaded the blonde's attack. Naruto saw Sasuke land and immediately saw the Sharingan. He smirked. This would be a great chance to see if his Taito could match something like the Sharingan. Sasuke used his Sharingan to see Naruto shoot chakra out from his legs, and then he let go of it. Like a pull trigger he shot forward at Sasuke. But now Naruto toned his power down to move at high genin speed. Don't need to feed out too much information. Everyone was surprised when Naruto vanished and appeared behind Sasuke while the Uchiha fell. The fangirls all thought he cheated, but only Irika and Sasuke actually saw what happened. He moved so fast he vanished from view, and then with deadly accuracy he initiated Nizanai Suki. He spun in multiple circles and hit Sasuke in many pressure points, causing the Uchiha to fall to the ground. Winner by defeat, Naruto, Irika said, seeing the blonde sigh before inhaling. Irika, no fair. We all know Naruto Baka cheated somehow, Sakura Haruno said. Irika sighed. The girl was easily the second strongest girl in the academy, seeing as she had quite the bit of training from various people. This was good, however. Her dislike for Naruto was greater, and while she often belittled him despite the blonde actually making legit wins, Naruto agreed with Sakura, further raising his trouble. If one of the Hokage's daughters said something wasn't right, everyone would immediately agree just to get on her good side. Irika sighed again and told his students of what he saw Naruto do. Girls, listen, Naruto legitly beat Sasuke. He moved as speed's most experienced genin do, and then he punched Sasuke in the gut, Irika said, proving to Naruto that Irika couldn't see everything. No, please stop arguing and let's all go in for the final portion, Irika said, ushering the children. Natsumi looked excitedly at Naruto, and her gaze was only beaten by one other, and that was Aoi, who somehow saw all the hits he landed on Sasuke in that one move. So, I think it's time the big cat's got another summoner, she thought, seeing Naruto walk away after help up Sasuke, who took his hand after glaring at Naruto. Inside with Naruto. Okay Naruto, I want you to perform the substitution, and then henge, followed by successfully summoning 3 clones. If you do all that, you will pass for this year and become a genin, Irika said, making Naruto sigh. Big problem with that. The other fathead instructors always kicked me out when it pertained to those 3 jutsu. I can fake out substitution with my Taito and I know how to do henge, but I never learned Bushin, Naruto thought. Naruto decided to wing it and go for the win. He first used his Taito and moved a chair to the front of the class, and then he appeared where the chair was. Oh, sealess substitution, great job, next jutsu please, Irika said kindly. Naruto grunted before putting his hands into the ram seal and then channeling his chakra to act like an illusionary mold. Transformation, Naruto yelled, turning into a perfect replica of Irika. Irika nodded and Naruto ended the jutsu, turning him back into the blown, blue-eyed, black ninja shirt-wearing boy. And now the last one, Irika said, but Naruto shook his head. Irika-sensei, I'm sorry, but I cannot do this jutsu. Every time I tried to learn it, your coworkers kicked me out, remember, Naruto said, making Irika sigh. Naruto, you fail. I'm sorry, but Hokage said anyone who doesn't know the 3 jutsu automatically fails, Irika said, making Naruto just let his hair hang over his eyes. The blonde walked out silently past his classmates and left the room, followed stealthily by Mizuki, the ex-teacher. He was fired a few minutes ago for lying about testing materials. Later with Naruto. Naruto, it's me Mizuki. the white-haired man said, looking kindly at the blonde who was sitting silently on the swing set. Naruto looked up and glared at the man. Out of everybody Naruto knew, this was the absolute last person he wanted to see right now, and he was sure he'd rage if the man spat some bull crap about his current predicament. Hey Naruto, I've heard that you failed the test, but I wonder, did Irika tell you about the secret exam to pass? Mizuki said, stringing along his web of lies. Naruto just glared emotionlessly as Mizuki tried to look as believable as possible. This fool comes over here and asks me about a secret exam when he is one of the main reasons I failed the first one. Ridiculous. He is up to something, Naruto thought while deciding to play along with the horrible attempt to trick him. No, Mizuki-san, whatever could you mean? Naruto said while mentally rolling his eyes. Well, see, a long time ago, when the first Hokage made the academy, he set up a secret test that will automatically turn anyone who does it into a chunin. All you got to do is steal the scroll of secret jutsu, and then give it to a chunin who will then pass you and make you an automatic chunin, Mizuki said, creating lies right on the spot. Naruto frowned before smirking and speaking to his ex-teacher. I'm in. What time do we start? Naruto said, making Mizuki laugh internally about how easy it was to fool the Hokage's stupid brat. Meet me at the Western Forest at 9 p.m. sharp, Mizuki said while jumping away. When he was out of hearing range, Naruto gained a frown and watched his retreating backside. Idiot, did he really think I bought that garbage? Now how do I turn this fiasco against him convincingly? Naruto said while feeling 2 chakra signatures in the forest. One he easily saw as his sister's, and when he used Kenzen Kenshi he confirmed it to be Natsumi. Why is she here? She must have heard our conversation and will no doubt tell Minato. I think I can work this into my favor, Naruto thought while using the Kenzen Kenshi to get a visual on the other person. When the sonar-like wave came back and he got a chakra image, he saw Aoi and she was blushing, while he felt extreme nervousness from her. Aoi, you can come out now. Natsumi, go home, Naruto said, seeing Aoi come out of the trees while Natsumi looked shocked before jumping away to go ask her sister what should they do about this matter. Aoi jumped right in front of Naruto, and he could see she had an unusually large scroll in her hand. Is that what I think it is? Naruto thought, seeing the girl blush more. Hey Naruto, she started off. Stupid, that was a lame introduction, she thought. Naruto raised his right eye before deciding to entertain this girl. After all, he did find her very interesting, and he could sense her power that she hid away. Sure, she wasn't as strong as he was, but she could give a great chunin or a weak jounin a run for their money. Hello Aoi, what's going on? Naruto asked, seeing the girl shuffle. Naruto, I just wanted to say sorry about what happened at the academy with you failing. I know Irika can be tough, so I brought something to cheer you up, she said, starting to get back into her normal character. Aoi was a wild spirit. She liked laughing and fighting, but most of all she had a slightly perverted nature. You could tell by the very short sleeveless jacket that was open and her taped-up chest that she was a pervert, but it gets worse. She wears a sort of skirt with the sides cut off, showing quite a bit of skin. Many wonder if she wears panties under it, but so far none have lifted it up to see. Thank you for your condolences, Aoi. But you'll find that I'm not really a fan of pity, Naruto said, hoping she wasn't doing this out of pity. You're still that idiot that saved me 4 years ago, aren't you? You should know I hate pity and will never give it out, Aoi said, glaring at Naruto for his accusations. No, Naruto, I'm here for something else. How would you like to sign the Big Cat contract and join me as the only other person in the world who can summon them? Aoi said, knowing just what buttons to push. I'm listening, but I just don't see the picture. I see what I get from this, but Aoi, what exactly do you get? Naruto said, confused as to why she made a generous offer. If you had a life like his, being constantly blamed for stuff you didn't do, you'll find that generosity only comes $1 per pound. Aoi frowned before smiling like a wildcat. Actually, this is for an old favor. I'm doing this because not only have you saved my life before, but you have also caught my interest. I know of your true power, the power you are hiding. I just want to see you in action and get to try you out myself before anyone else does, she said, but Naruto caught her hidden message well. Thanks for saving my hide, join me and I will help you out along the way. Aoi, you got yourself a deal, but your contract can actually help me as soon as today. Tell me, would you like to learn a kinjutsu from the scroll of secret jutsu? Naruto asked, seeing his plan lay out in his mind. He saw how everything would go. First he'd get the scroll from his father. The fool keeps it in the office right in plain view. Stupid. Then once he did that, he'd run to the forest, meet up with Aoi, both of them learn the blood clone jutsu, and then they'd leave while the blood clones take their place. His would allow Mizuki to get the scroll. Become promoted, since the Hokage won't let his only son not become a genin. Then his clone would surely have to face punishment. While all this is happening, he and Aoi will go to the cat summoning world and train and then come back, replace their blood clones, and then live out life. Pretty simple. And once he does 10 missions, he will be able to legally leave his parents' house. Okay, I'm in. Aoi said, smirking as Naruto put on a mischievous smile. Good, it goes just like this, Naruto said, laying out the plan for her. That night, Naruto had already stolen the scroll and now he was running to meet up with Aoi. He sent out a Kanzen Kenshi pulse and got an image of Aoi coming right towards him from the left. Naruto stopped and allowed the girl to land in front of him. You ready? Once we start there is no turning back, Naruto said while slightly opening the forbidden scroll. Aoi nodded and he opened it up right to the blood clone jutsu. Seems easy enough, she said, fingering the hand signs but realizing didn't have quite enough chakra to perform the jutsu. Naruto had to agree, just 3 hand signs and a third of his chakra and presto on blood clone. He knew Aoi wouldn't have enough chakra for the technique, but he had a way around that flaw. Aoi, I sense you don't have enough chakra to make a full blood clone, so allow me to funnel chakra into you and then you can perform the technique, Naruto said, causing the girl to smile sweetly. His face reddened from the cuteness she had, but he brushed that away and funneled a meager amount of his chakra into the girl so she could use the technique. Aoi bit her thumb like she would for summoning and started the hand signs. Inu Tora Sara hand clap, ninja art, blood clone jutsu. He blood dripped onto the ground and she slammed her hand on her blood, causing a crimson red seal to formulate under her palms. Smoke entered the forest and when it cleared up, Naruto saw Aoi standing next to another Aoi who looked like her down to Everlast curve. Naruto caught a slight nosebleed which Aoi saw, causing her to smirk. What's wrong? Naruto can't hand 2 girls at the same time, she said with Naruto flying back from a nosebleed. She laughed before seeing Naruto somehow magically appear next to her with the use of his Taido. I'm going to learn how he does that someday, she thought while seeing Naruto bite his thumb like she did. Inu Tora Sara hand clap, ninja art, blood clone jutsu. Smoke once again filled the clearing and when it lit up there were 2 Narutos clad all black standing over both the Aois. Oh, kinky Aoi's blood clone said, causing both Narutos to fly away again and the real Aoi to smirk like a cat. Naruto then came back and the original people looked at their clones. You both know your objectives. Aoi clone, you leave the perimeter and cover your tracks. You are to live out Aoi's life until we get back. My clone, you go beat Mizuki and allow the Umbu to take care of what's left. Go tell Minato what happened that isn't classified, and then if and when they put you in the seal, make sure you complete those 10 missions and survival training so you can leave the family before I get back, Naruto said to his clone. The 2 clones nodded and everyone left to go on their quests. With real Naruto and Aoi. Naruto and Aoi were jumping to go find a safe place to stash the big cat contract until they get back from the savannah. Right now they were headed to the ravine where Naruto first meet the creator, whom he still hasn't told anyone, not even Aoi, about. No, Naruto was still trying to figure out who the other savior would be. He just hoped it wasn't one of his sisters. So Naruto, tell me, how strong are you really? Aoi said, trying to pry out information on the person she'd be spending the next 2.5 months with. Naruto for his part sighed, before telling the girl all he knew. For some reason he just felt that he could trust her despite her rather wild personality. I will tell you all that I can do and allow you to gauge my strength, Naruto said, and then he went into the Heido and Bakudo, sword style, and fighting styles he knew. He told her how his Taido works, bumming her out that she could never really use it, and he told her how the Kanzen Kenshi worked. He even told her about the Nijirasen and another move he was working on called Jiretsu no Hisho, Flight of the Matrix. Naruto ended up feeling himself be able to trust her more when she told him of her past. How her father foolishly led the Kagaya clan into a death trap during the bloodline purges. She told him she could regenerate her bones and also bring them outside her body for a while. Naruto asked about her mom, but she told him her mother wasn't a Kagaya, which weakened her bloodline to a degree. You know, I feel I can trust you with the information of this place, so I will be honest with you. Where we are going to drop the scroll is a place known as Alpha Beta A, or as we know it, the universe. And the creator of this place brought me there and gave me scrolls on everything I know, Naruto said, seeing the girl go wide-eyed. He basically told her that his father didn't know what he was talking about, and that his sisters were fakers. They weren't the children of prophecy, he and some other guy was. Wow, so you think it was destiny that we meet, or that I gave you the contract to sign? She said, jumping slower from S tree branch than normal. It's possible, but all I know is that I need to figure out my true bloodline and master it before it's too late, or else there won't be a world to save, Naruto said while stopping them at a strange ravine. This is it, just toss the scroll down there, and then we can go to the summoning realm, Naruto said, watching the girl chuck the scroll like it was a dead body. When they were sure it hit the ground, Aoi started the hand seals for the reverse summoning jutsu. She bit her thumb and then started the seals. Hitsuji Saru Tori Inu I Ninja Art, reverse summoning contract. Naruto and Aoi both vanished in a plume of smoke, not to be seen for 2.5 months. Fake Naruto. Naruto easily took down Mizuki. All he had to do was use a bit of speed and the Akatsu, and the white-haired man went down. He talked to his dad a few minutes ago, and he wasn't pleased that his son went behind his back and stole the scroll without his permission. He was so mad that he put Naruto into several of her tougher seals and dared him to get out. Naruto mulled over the hollow victory. Sure, he got his headband, but now he was stuck sealed up like this for every day that he came to this house, which was every day. He had at least a month of this before he could legally move out. He knew Minato would put up a front and try to stop him, since it would look bad that the Hokage's son moved out because he didn't like him. Naruto just hoped he could break out of this. Let's see here, what is it this time? Oh, my 2 arm restriction seals, a triple gravity seal on top of this turtle shell on my back. Dang, the locking mechanism looks extremely tough, but I can try. Oh wow, and he added a pressure point correction seal to make sure if I do get out I will be in severe pain. Yup, I'm screwed. There is only one way to get in this mess and one way to get out, but I've been in harder scenarios. Clone Naruto said to himself. His father would let him leave for team placements next week, and when he stole the scroll he made sure he changed the teams up. He traded Sakura for Aoi as his teammate and chose to keep Sasuke. He put Sakura on his sister's team. Hopefully that will get her to hate me less. Naruto was about to go to sleep for the night when he saw the door open and in walks another person he really didn't want to see, Naruto. She had a smug grin on her face as she walked up to his restrained body. So weakling, are you ready to tell me what Mizuki wanted? She said, trying to get something out of Naruto. Naruto just looked at her emotionlessly before she slapped him and made him glare at him. Now look here, Dad said that you were caught with the scroll of sealing. I'm warning you, if you betray this village, if you betray this family, I will hunt you down and torture you. She said, making Naruto laugh hysterically. Ha, what family? You all don't see me as such. My own father doesn't even call me son and never speaks to me anymore. My mother equally agrees to the bull that I'm put through and is the same as the man you call father. Naruto, you practically hate me and go out your way to try and make me miserable. And Natsumi, oh Natsumi, she is the only slightly redeeming quality in this family, he said, spitting out every word with thick venom. And yet even though she is a redeeming quality, I hate her just as much. I despise all of you, and guess what, in a little while none of you will have to put up with me. I'm leaving, the clone said darkly. Naruto sighed at the state her brother was in. Years ago she truly did care for him, but over time they drifted apart until now, they nearly hate each other. A very small tear dripped down the girl's face as her resolve hardened, and like an Uchiha awakening the Sharingan, she threw away all her sisterly feelings for her brother. When the time comes, you and I shall have our battle, but Naruto, know this. Even the fur ball in your gut won't save you from me, Naruto said with his head down. Naruto glared at him for a moment, but then when Naruto looked up his eyes scared her. The sclera was black and the iris was a sickly yellow, but that wasn't all. No, his pupils slightly slit, and then Naruto saw the thing that put the icing on the cake. This next article scared the living devil out of here. What could scare a girl with a centuries-old demon in her gut? Well, it was a near-invisible white mass that appeared on Naruto when the lightning struck. Thought it was only for a fraction of a second she saw it all, from the sharp and pointy teeth, to the strange sage mode-like markings around the eyelids, and the eyes, those eyes just made her want to scream. Naruto jumped back as Naruto smirked before telling her to get out his room. These two had made up their minds on what the future for them would be like. Let's just say it won't be pretty. Naruto turned and left while Naruto was left to his devices. However, she never saw the demonic smirk he gave as she left. Sister, I must thank you though. You truly are the key to my freedom, Naruto said, holding a replica of the key seal on the door. All he had to do was reverse engineer it, and he's have a key to slightly unlock all the other seals. End. Story start Academy next week. Naruto walked slightly ahead of his sisters as they approached the academy for team placements. Naruto already knew what team he was on, but he still went to meet up with Aoi's blood clone and also gauge Sasuke's full power. He glanced back and saw his sister Natsumi smile at him. The girl honestly did try to get Naruto to be semi-friendly with her, but Naruto stayed away so it would be easier to cut his ties with his family. Naruto kept walking, not reacting to the smile at all, and he looked over to his other sibling Naruto. The girl said nothing as they both had a silent glaring contest, but then for some reason she looked away scared. Ever since a week ago, when she went in his room, those eyes and that mask have been haunting her dreams. She dared not to tell anyone because they weren't supposed to go in their brother's room while he was on punishment. She just couldn't seem to get that memory out of her mind, like it was etched into her memory. Naruto clone stopped glaring as he saw they had reached academy entrance. He opened the door and just walked through, not bothering to hold it for the two girls behind him. He started up the steps silently, allowing his footsteps to echo. His were much louder than regular Zaori sandals because these were made from wood and they were called Waraji, Soul Reaper sandals. He also wore strange white socks called tabi under the sandals. His black ninja fit was still in place as he got to the last set of steps and opened the door. Naruto walked right up to room 401 and opened the door before walking to his regular seat in the very back of the classroom. His sisters as usual walked around the school trying to find people to talk to while he and the other quiet people sat in the room and talked among themselves or read. Naruto sat quietly for a few minutes until he felt the air shift on the left of him, and he closed his eyes. He already sensed who the person was when they came within 10 meters of the outside of the academy, but he just nodded before addressing them. Well, never pegged you as an early bird, Aoi-chan, Naruto said, opening his eyes to see her smirking at him. This was certainly new. She didn't really change anything about herself, but now she did have a different variation of that skirt. Now the skirt had two diagonal cuts on their sides which showed off skin. The only real pieces of clothing down there were the sash in front of the skirt, and the small sashes that acted as dividers for the skirt. She also had some new boots-styled waraji and black tabi under that. Well, I just wanted to get here to see if you would go on and tell me who's on whose team. I may just leave early if you do though, Megami said, making Naruto's sweat drop at her brashness. Where he was stoic and sometimes cold, she was outgoing and loud. Sometimes Naruto had flashes of the old him, but they were very, very seldom. In that case I think I'll let you wait, Naruto said, seeing another person walk into the door. He smiled, seeing his infamous luck come into play, for the boy who walked in was he with the duck hair. That's right, impassively walking in at 8:34 was one Sasuke Uchiha, the self-proclaimed tomato devourer. He saw Naruto and the two smirked before jumping at each other. Aoi looked confused thinking they were going to fight but was surprised when she saw them moving their hands back and forth. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Naruto threw scissors and Sasuke threw paper. The Uchiha hined before giving Naruto a 20 real bill and they both walked up the steps back to Aoi. Naruto slid in first, sitting in the middle, and Sasuke as usual sat on the far end. Okay, no, that was so not right. This must be a genjutsu. Sasuke and definitely not Naruto. Either of you would do something so childish? Fun? Normal, Aoi said, hearing Naruto, and then Sasuke fill in her gaps. Yeah, I'm not always cold just to the people I don't like, and let me put it this way. I'm not cold to you too, Naruto said, with Sasuke agreeing. I only brood unless I'm in the presence of Naruto. We're rivals and he got the upper hand in that last spar because he bet I wouldn't be able to beat him under a level 2 weight. Seal, Sasuke said with a grunt. Okay, this day just got weird, Aoi thought to herself as the two boys started conversing with themselves. Oh well, what do you know, birds of a feather do flock together, she added, seeing the two normally stoic boys agree with each other. They talked for a while until the regular classmates started trickling in. First was the ever-silent Shino, followed 10 seconds later by Choji and Shikamaru. Naruto and Sasuke went back into their emotionless modes and Aoi sighed, seeing that neither of her friends and soon-to-be teammates talking. 5 minutes later Kiba Inuzuka came in and then he was followed by Naruko and Natsumi, whom both sat together. Next was Hinata Hyuga, who walked in with her usual Hyuga are better than you expression. That girl really needed some work done to her. She was summed up by one word. Bitch. Finally 2 minutes before Iruka came in, Sakura Haruno, second strongest girl in the academy, and Ino Yamanaka, weakest of the clan heir but overall the 6th strongest girl. See, the chain of strength was Aoi as the top girl, then Sakura, Naruko, Natsumi, Hinata and then Ino. Out of all 6 of these girls, Ino was the most annoying as she constantly fought Sakura for Sasuke, yet it was clear Sakura was much stronger and had more hold on the Uchiha. Yup, one thing Naruto had to get used to was seeing Sasuke act normal around Sakura. He knew the Uchiha liked her but he didn't want to drag her into his life. Issues, geesh. Sakura and Ino stalked up to Naruto's table and without even looking at Aoi, guess what Sakura's first sentence was? Naruto baka, get out my seat. Dobes such as yourself don't deserve to sit with the top 2 students in the academy, she said, picking at Naruto. Naruto didn't make a move. No, honestly, he ignored her, making her mad and Sasuke a little mad, but otherwise it was just a seat. She was about to say something else but she saw Naruto appear next to her with the use of his Taito, and he touched her shoulder. Listen, Sakura-san, I know all about you and Sasuke, but honestly I don't care. Either you tell your boo to move with you or you leave me alone. Oh, and by the way, remember a ninja's greatest asset is deception. Don't forget that, and maybe you'll live long enough to tell me about it, Naruto said before using his regular speed to appear next to Aoi in his seat. I didn't even see him move, just like yesterday, Shikamaru thought, seeing Naruto appear back next to Sasuke. So he is finally going to show off a bit of skill, thought Shino as he looked at Naruto before looking back to the board. Look at Naruto being such a badass, Aoi thought, seeing his every movement including the Taito to appear next to Sakura. Sasuke did too, and he smirked seeing his rival finally show just the tip of the iceberg. Iruka walked into his class to see a slightly scared Sakura looking at the spot where Naruto once was standing. I didn't even see his movement, nor did I feel him, or the airbrush. Wow, what incredible speed! But if his dad taught him his teleportation jutsu, where was the yellow flash? Sakura thought, actually respecting Naruto for once. Natsumi was thinking along the same lines while Naruko smirked, seeing what she would have to eventually go up against. Okay, class today is going to be short, so Sakura, take a seat and I can begin the team placements, Iruka said, making the girl stop thinking and sit down. She sat and Iruka pulled out a clipboard before announcing the team listings in a fake official voice. Team 1, your Jounin sensei said to immediately go outside. Hattori Shunsuke, Omidori Omiata, and Hayoshi Ryuka. Team 2, Ami Badwin, Liana Koiki, and Inara, training ground 44 in 10 minutes. Team 3 is Kira Hitsugaya, Waru Ikimaru, and Ichigo Amoyama. You are to meet your sensei at the Eastern Lake. Team 4 is Kurana Jikoro, Jidanbo Abiroshi, and Ryujin Gemida. You are to meet your instructor at the barbecue restaurant. Those teams please leave now, Iruka said, getting groans out of the 12 unlucky candidates to automatically fail the exams by getting fake Jounin instructors. Once the last child left, Iruka addressed the real Genin hopefuls, but sadly only 12 would become true Genin. Now for you last 15, you are the real cream of the crop. Those last 12 were just the ones to get dropped from the program. Sadly only 12 of you can become true Genin, while the other 3 must come back here for remedial training. Now when I call you names, please go to your respective areas I designate. Team 5, Rabasa Komura, Saijin Hirako, Nanoi Aisane, you are to meet your instructor at training ground 69. Iruka said, making the 2 perverted boys blush at the name of their training ground and the girl to sigh before they collected their things and left. Now Team 6, Sakura Haruno, Naruko Namikaze, and Natsumi Uzumaki, you are all being instructed under Wo Kushina Uzumaki. You are to meet her at the Namikaze estate, Iruka said, making the twins jump for joy and Naruko to glare. Wow, and here I thought Kushina could become redeemable. She still believes those 2 to be the chosen ones. Oh well, now I have even less attaching me to those people, Naruto thought, mentally cutting his last tie to that family. When the trio left, Iruka continued. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, And Aoi Megami, you are to stay here and wait for your Jounin instructor Kakashi Hatake, Irika said, sighing. If he paid attention he would have seen Naruto break his normally stoic expression and bang his head on the table. Dang it, I forgot to change my sensei to someone who was actually not a hypocrite. No matter, I will deal with the hand I got, Naruto thought. He then turned his head, seeing a strange umbu sinking into the floor, and he only caught a glimpse of his mask. Naruto only caught a glimpse, but he was confident that he saw the image correctly with his Kenzen Kenchi. That mask had the kanji for root on it. With root umbu, Lord Danzo the Hokage's son is on Hatake San's team as instructed. What are your next orders, my lord? The boy behind the mask said, looking up at a man standing in front of him. Most would think the man was a cripple, what with his right arm and right eye heavily bandaged. Hell, he even walks with a cane, but no, this man was Danzo, the ever so sneaky bastard in the shadows. Very good, I want you to trail him, and if he is ever alone I want you to make him our offer, and if he doesn't, show him the evidence we have, Danzo said, handing a file to the umbu. The umbu nodded, accepting the pamphlet, and then he vanished into the darkness. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, I shall have you in my organization, and I will get someone of your caliber and darkness in here. I don't care who dies in the process, Danzo said, scheming of a way to get the Hokage's relative under his thumb. Irika, teammate, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Shino Aburame, you are to go to Training Ground 8 and meet Kurenai Yuhi. Finally, Team 10, your Jounin sensei is Asuma Sarutobi, now Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akimichi, and Shikamaru Nara are to all report to Training Ground 10, Irika said, watching as the two teams left the room, leaving Team 7 just sitting in the room. Naruto and Sasuke sighed, knowing of Kakashi's record, while Aoi waited patiently, not knowing that their sensei was known for his chronic tardiness. Real Naruto and Aoi. Naruto and Aoi appeared in the land of the big cats, and as soon as they did, one cat that was standing on two legs walked up to Naruto, wondering who he was. Naruto told her he just signed the contract, and now he was battling this person. The animal was a tiger named Tigress, and currently she was holding Naruto's arm as the boy pushed harder and harder against her massive bulky arms. Tigress had enough, and she easily threw Naruto away like he was a toothpick. Boy, you are indeed powerful, and I sense you are not at your full strength as indicated by the seal on your bicep. But don't think you can beat me in your powered-up state either. It's a few years too soon for you to die by my claws, she said, making Naruto sigh, and then he touched a seal on the left side of his waist. A sword appeared strapped to his thigh, and he slowly unsheathed it, showing everyone the brown golden pommel and brown hilt. As the blade left the sheath, they saw it was made of a black metal, but against Tigress this would do nearly nothing. They then watched in morbid fascination as the blade faded into nothingness, showing a shocked Naruto who only held onto the hilt. You know, how's about we stop? You're good enough to be a summoner of ours, so let's end this battle. Why don't you come with me and we will see if we can help you with your sword there, along with Aoi-chan, who really needs to perfect her limited bone techniques, the tiger said, walking away with Naruto following. When they arrived at the place they were going to, Naruto was intrigued to see her hand him a slip of paper. Before we help you forge a new sword, slip some chakra into that paper so we can see what your elemental affinities are, Tigress said, making Naruto nod and push hit chakra into the paper. The paper crumpled up before burning, and then the burning sheet split in half. Interesting, you have a very strong lightning affinity, which is almost matched by your fire and wind attribute. Strange that you have the three attributes with the least amount of shape manipulation required, but your shape manipulation is off the charts, she said, making Naruto look at her strangely. Naruto, I told her about your shape manipulation, Aoi said, making him tense less. So the way I see it is like this. We'll train you, Aoi, to perfect that little technique of yours, plus work on your water manipulation. Naruto, we will teach you some jutsu for your elements, as well as refine your already known skills. We also are going to help you make a new sword. You can practice your Heido and Bakudo sealing, but that's as far as we will help you. As cats we really don't use swords, but one of you does. Do not ask, for he shall not train you as you are now, Tigress said, making Naruto think. Okay, but how will I forge the sword, and who will help me? Naruto asked before Tigress snapped her fingers and behind him landed a lion with a reddish-orange mane. Naruto, meet Simba, he will help you forge your sword. But first you must defeat him in combat, Tigress said as Simba got on his two hind legs and stood like a man. Naruto felt slight fear seeing the 7-foot lion tower over him, but he quickly dropped into the Nagaraboshi no Mai. Tigress and Aoi left and Simba waved for Naruto and him to begin their dance. Simba shot forward fast, with a ferocity to match his bite, but Naruto was not as intimidated as he was before. When Simba's pounce landed right in front of him, Naruto fell back on purpose, and then he used his hands to push forward hard and launch into Simba's knee joints. The cat felt Naruto hit him, but he easily shrugged him over and kicked Naruto back over to where he started. Naruto boy, you will find that some opponents are just too strong for you to easily overpower, more specifically most Earth-type opponents. I hope you can figure out one of the 3 ways to take down an opponent like me, or I will end up killing you, Simba said, rushing at Naruto. Naruto noticed the lion wasn't quite as fast as he was without his weights, but he had power behind his bounds, making him slightly faster. As Simba approached, he gave a right paw swipe that Naruto was forced to duck from. Simba then tried to kick, but Naruto jumped and landed on his leg. He gave a punch to the cat's face, but it did little to nothing on Simba. The blonde was forced to retreat backwards and try formulating a plan, so when he landed he thought to himself, if I attack him he will just brush my attacks off like I'm a measly fly. Tiring him out would be good, but then again that would take too long, and he may cripple me if I take too long. Naruto thought, dodging another claw sweep and kicking Simba in the head before getting more distance. Speed is in my favor, but it won't be enough. But maybe if I can get behind him and hit his weak spot with the Nizanai Suki, then I can beat him, Naruto thought while getting closer to the 500-pound lion. Hey Simba, please don't hate me for how I'm about to beat you, Naruto said, confusing Simba, who thought the blonde was ready to give. Naruto ran right to Simba and slightly released his weight seal so he could effectively use the Nizanai Suki. When he saw Simba notice him and charge, he smirked before activating his Bakudo seal. Naruto imagined 6 light rods shaped like triangles piercing Simba, and then he activated the technique. Rikujikoro. Simba was immobilized by the 6 triangles of yellow light, and thus it made it all the more easier for Naruto to sum up to him. He started spinning in a very fast circle and he hit Simba in pressure points all along his torso, making the blood rush to the lion's legs. Naruto then poked his finger at where he figured the lion's spot where there was no important organ and charged chakra into the tip of his finger. Byakurai. Simba had a bunch of lightning go completely through his body, and though it barely hurt and didn't hit anything important, it was still annoying to feel the hole slowly mending itself back together. He smirked at Naruto before walking up to the blonde and patting his back as he huffed. Be proud, Naruto. No one has ever managed to get around my iron dirt armor, so you have done great. I acknowledge your win, so how's about we get started on that sword of yours, Simba said while watching the blonde fall out in exhaustion. Gotta love the blonde. He managed to get past my armor. Impressive feat for someone so young, he thought while picking up Naruto and taking him to his personal forge. Team 7 and Kakashi. Kakashi had a weird team to say the least. When he first arrived, they all looked at him with no expressions, as if they just knew he was going to be 3 hours late. The second indicator that they were weird was when they did the introductions yesterday, and well, they each surprised him with what they said. Flashback. Well, for starters, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I like things and also dislike things. Now, hobbies, I have many. As for dreams, well, they either happened already or I just gave up on them, Kakashi said, seeing them not react at all to his lack of an introduction. It was as if they just knew he was going to be about his life. Okay, awkward silence. Alright, let's let our blonde go first since he seems so bored with this, Kakashi said, trying to get Naruto to react. Naruto went into his I'm noble and you're not mode and ignored Kakashi's verbal jab completely. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like some things, I hate some things, I like some people, and I hate some people, he said, looking dead at Kakashi. If I didn't know any better, I'd have to say he doesn't really like me. But why didn't he say his full name in the beginning? I thought Sensei's son would be a bit happier, Kakashi thought, shocked by Naruto. My hobbies are training in silence and meditation. My dream is to someday see the world away from this village, he said, making his point clear. He was going to leave the village eventually, so don't try to stop him. Kakashi was surprised by the blonde and mentally reminded himself to tell his sensei. Okay, next up let's have the blue goddess go, he said, making a pun on Aoi's full name. Aoi Megami literally means blue goddess. Megami scowled before giving her introduction. My name's Aoi Megami and I like some people, while I hate weakness. My hobbies are training and making somebody blush. My dream is to have cubs of my own and with someone, she said, making Naruto instantly jealous. She thought of someone other than him so strongly. Sasuke sighed, seeing the blonde misinterpret her words. The blonde was good, but sometimes he could really be dense. Kakashi was wondering who she liked so much that her dream was to have a family with them. Okay, and last you can go, Mr. Sunshine, he said, making Sasuke look emotionlessly at him. Outside, Sasuke was calm, but inside he was planning various ways to torture Kakashi and give him hell. Humph, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. My likes are tomatoes and my special people, especially one of them. My dislikes are anyone who threatens my special people and tardiness. My hobbies are sparing and coming up with tomato recipes, and my dreams are to find a certain someone and demand an explanation from him. And if I need to, I shall kill him, Sasuke said while everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Kakashi had to sigh at his team. Out of all of them, the only one who outwardly showed emotion was the girl, and even then it was usually anger or anxiety. Now, after the team introductions, they had all went home, and well, they got ready for the next day. So here comes Kakashi to the training ground 3 hours late, only to see his team all sparring amongst themselves and talking like regular people. He was going to sit there and wait for them to stop, but when he saw them appear behind him, he got the shock of his life. What are you looking at, sensei? Asked Naruto and Aoi while Sasuke could barely mask his entertainment. Kakashi jumped and looked down at where the team was training, only to see it was just clones of them fighting. After that, Kakashi started the test, expecting all 3 of them to run, but well, they stayed right where they were before Sasuke ushered Kakashi to come at him. The Hatake sighed before taking out his book, but then well, it kind of got burned by a blue fire that came from Naruto's arm. So Katsui. The book went up in flames, and well, Kakashi had to dodge the barrage of kicks from Aoi and the pointy knives and swords from Sasuke. When he told them to come at him with the intent to kill, he never managed they would take it quite literally, and that sealed fire jutsu Naruto used. Kakashi was sure Minato never taught Naruto anything, since he knew the man favored his twin sisters. Where did the blonde learn Fuinjutsu, and better yet, how to seal flames that run off your energy? Kakashi did a backflip from Sasuke's interceptor-style taijutsu only to do a double take, noticing the boy's active Sharingan. Oh my god, I just might die, Kakashi thought while jumping over a bone bullet from Aoi. Somehow the girl had Kagaya blood and she was firing these very sharp and fast bone bullets from her elbow of all places. Kakashi, seeing he was cornered by the three children, decided to try some jutsus since they obviously had jutsu on their side. He rapidly flew through a bunch of hand signs before stopping on one and looking at the children. The reason he stopped was because of the shuriken flying at him, so he had to dodge them and start his hand signs over again. Oh well, guess I really shouldn't hold back here, he thought, flying through hand signs this time at regular jounin speed. Tora Saru I Ushi Tora, Fire Style, Grand Fireball. Kakashi blew a ball of flames at Naruto, but the boys stood there worrying Kakashi. He thought he had misjudged them and tried to tone down the flames, but Naruto actually shocked him by using more of his seal barriers. Thank you. The flames that were about to char the blonde stopped right in front of them, and they tried to spread around what appeared to be a plexiglass wall. Kakashi was astounded at the level these kids fought, and he really had a bad feeling that they were still holding back. Yup, this team together was easily low jounin level, while each of them on their own was at least chunin level. Naruto appeared in front of Kakashi, and put his hand on the man's back. And now Kakashi, you shall know the true meaning of pain, Naruto said while activating his Hado seal and pushing chakra into the first chamber. Show push. Kakashi flew into some ninja wire and almost became half a man, but he was fast with his jutsu and he substituted himself with the first log he saw. Naruto smirked, seeing his plan worked, before regrouping with the team to combat Kakashi once more. Naruto used some weird seal to push me around. Wow, just where did he learn this? Kakashi thought. The alarm clock rang just in that thought process, and three blurs phased into view in front of Kakashi. He saw his failures land and he smirked, seeing that they passed his exam. But he just wanted to make sure they got the memo. Well, you three failed to retrieve the bells, so he was cut off by Naruto dangling two bells in his face before throwing one to each of his teammates. But when? Kakashi asked, genuinely confused at how the blonde managed to get the bells off of him. Remember when I did that jutsu that pushed you? Naruto said, seeing Kakashi nod. Well, when you substituted with the log, my jutsu really took effect. The first blast was to simply loosen up the strings, and when you substituted after almost hitting the wires, they had just enough slack to nab the bells. Then I launched a second show to stop the bells from ringing and alerting you that they were missing, Naruto's clone said as if it was a practice move. Kakashi was astonished that his team not only worked as a team but they also managed to nab the bells for him. Well then, you all pass. Meet here tomorrow at 10 for your first training session and a new mission, Kakashi said with an eye smile. He then vanished with a shunshin, and Naruto sensed he was going to report to his father on what had happened with his Kenzen Kenshi. Great, more punishment, the clone thought before dodging a nail bullet from Aoi with his Taido. Sasuke smirked before throwing a kunai and joining into the fray. Yup, this team is going to be awesome, Naruto thought, fighting back against his teammates. Land of the Cats. 1 week later. Choosing the correct material is the most important step in crafting your sword. Naruto, your sword will literally be an extension of yourself. If the person who gave you your powers was indeed the creator, then your powers may revolve around creation and shape manipulation, Simba said, unknowingly telling Naruto exactly what his power was. You will of course need to put some of your DNA into the sword as you forge it, and also chakra won't hurt either, Simba said. Naruto looked at each of the steels and woods available to him. He picked up each block and weighed them all, but none seemed to feel right in his hands. Naruto thought for a second before remembering about a meteor shower that happened a few days ago, just outside of the savannah. Africa truly was a treasure trove of riches. Simba, would it be possible to leave and get some exclusive material for my sword? Naruto said, knowing exactly what he was going to do. Naruto, the sword is to be an extension of you. I wouldn't have your choice any other way, and it is very welcomed, Simba said with Naruto showing one of his rare giant smiles. Naruto left, and used multiple Taido to move quickly to the landing site of the meteor. He had to shape the blast into triangles to get a bigger jump from each movement, and within 10 minutes he made the 3-mile journey to the landing site of the meteor, and its fragments. Naruto saw a giant slab of meteor, so he took out some paper and sealed the slab before using Taido to get back to Simba. When he did return, he had showed Simba the metallic rock and had the lion analyze it. Apparently anything made from it would automatically be black, yet his results said that the rock had gold and diamonds mixed inside of it. He smirked when he heard that. His sword would be one of the toughest, if not the toughest blade in the world. Naruto and Simba got started on the long sword making process. He decided he was going for a Chinese sword style, a jian, straight sword, to be specific. He started up the furnace by shoveling coal into the bottom, and Simba had a tiger come to light it, bring the flame up to degrees close to the sun's surface. Naruto then stuck his metallic stone into the furnace, and then let it sit there for hours until it became molten hot, almost liquid in state. Next he had the big slab that was left over chipped into usable pieces. The first slab he already put into the furnace would be used for a sheath. When dealing with metal that dense, if he sharpened it, a regular wooden sheath would simply be cut. The second, which he and Simba hammered at, would be used for the actual sword. It took 2 hours, but they finally hit the slab enough to break it. He could make it into a sword. He could almost see the sparkling diamonds in the slab, and he saw bits of golden flakes. Naruto threw the sword component into the furnace, and then took the guard components out. Seeing as they were ready, he put a greased up flat and thin plank of wood into the molten guard to make a slit for the sword to go into. He would let it sit in a vat of water for some time until the sword was ready. He'd also have to rotate the wood so it wouldn't meld into the molten metal when it cooled off. Naruto for now was pumping the furnace as Simba put his sword components into the flames, and then Naruto was tasked to watch as the sword got hotter and hotter, making him sweat gallons of water. Naruto let the sword sit in the furnace for the whole day while he let the metal sheath made of the same materials sit in water. The next day Naruto woke up and took the bucket of molten diamond and gold out, and then he poured it into a carving of a straight sword. He then let it harden before taking it out with some giant sword grippers. Simba held the sword as Naruto hammered away at it, shaping the blade and making it stretch out to the size of a Japanese nodachi. This new blade was a Chinese straight sword, yet it was long, about 4 feet 7 inches to be exact, which was almost as tall as a 10-year-old. As Naruto hammered at the blade, blood and sweat dripped into the red metal, fusing with it along with the immense chakra he hammered into it. This blade would only be responding to him. Naruto had already made sure of that. When Naruto got through hammering, he dipped the sword in the special oil used to make swords tougher, and then he took it out before putting it back in the furnace to temper it and make the blade much stronger. Naruto cloaked the blade with chakra while it went back into its molten state, and then he put a bit more blood into it. After about 6 hours out of the furnace, he took it out, and then dipped it into the tempering oil to make the blade harder. After a grueling 3 days, Naruto had finally finished his custom sword. He took it out of the metallic sheath, hearing the slightly minute but hearable shing of the blade going against the sheath. When he unsheathed it, the black blade glittered in the sunlight from the gold and diamond specks embedded inside of the blade itself. Naruto took the blade over to a steel board that was 6 inches thick. This was the thickest and strongest steel available, made from the same stuff most swords are, and it was hardened and tempered just for this cutting test. Naruto took a stance and then gave a vertical slash before sheathing it and walking away. Simba's jaw dropped as the blade cut the steel in half. No chakra added, nor did he swing with all his force, and that blade cut through the steel like butter. It is truly a work of art, but now let's make sure this art only works for him, Simba said, holding his hand out for Naruto to allow him to hold the blade. Simba walked over to the same steel sheet and swung downward with all his might, yet the blade didn't even nick the steel. He smirked before handing his student's creation back to him. Perfect, you forged it with enough DNA and chakra that it will only work for you. It has to genuinely be you in order for the blade to cut anything, Simba says while seeing Naruto nod and bow to him. Now that he had made a blade, it was time to test out this so-called power unique only to him. It was time to see what the ultimate shape manipulation could do, and then I will find the other savoir and challenge his so-called ultimate elemental manipulation, Naruto thought to himself, while leaving to go to a clearing. Naruto unsheathed the sword one more time and he heard words in his head, sort of like a verbal instruction. To call upon our power, all you have to do is think, believe, and pass my riddle. If yesterday has become history, and the tomorrow is riddled with mystery, then why is today called the present? The voice said, making Naruto think. The blonde was in deep thought before seeing the answer almost appear before him. It's called the present because it is a gift. It's a gift to be in the present and not in the past or unforeseeable future, Naruto said with confidence. You have answered correctly, young one. Now repeat after me and call out this name. Several cats approached the silent Naruto to see what his blade could do. They suddenly felt an overwhelming pressure from Naruto, but it was unrefined, so it was very easy for them to stand. They saw his eyes glowing green, which was strange considering they were normally blue. They then saw him point his blade to the ground and hold the hilt with both hands. His chakra flared to life before taking a green hue, and then he spoke/yelled. Shift the abundant heavens Kokankijo. Naruto yelled with all his might. The sword pulsed, emitting a green wave before dying down, and then nothing. There was no massive transformation, no illusions, no flames or ice. Heck, there wasn't even a dense smoke. It was Naruto standing there holding his sword, and he stared with a cocky attitude. He then looked at a tree before raising his blade and activated his shape manipulation. Moon slash. A crescent moon of green energy slashed all the leaves off of the tree and cut off quite a few branches. Naruto smiled, actively seeing his power in action, and decided to keep it up. Scatter thousand blade formation. Naruto created a green hue and then from it formed a blade before it scattered into thousands of pieces. The cats thought he messed up the shape, but were surprised to see him commanding the green fragment like blades that whirled around him like a certain bleach bankai. For the next 10 minutes everyone watched as Naruto put on a display with his abilities, making all sorts of things. Cats, swords, shields, strangely shaped items. Hey, you name it, he made it. He then realized that each time he made something that it took progressively longer, and the structural integrity of the shapes decreased. When Naruto made his last creation, which was a chair, he was surprised to see that as he sat in it, it flickered before turning translucent and then opaque. He sat and fell through the chair. Frustrated, Naruto tried to find a way to make his creations get their strength back, and then he noticed all the green residue come back to him in flame-like formations. He then made a chair, and this time it was solid. Naruto put the chair up and decided to do something else. He concentrated for a while until he opened his eyes and saw his sword had changed its shape. Renji Abri Zanpakuto. It was then he realized that his power was shape manipulation, and it wasn't just limited to his chakra itself. Anything he poured enough chakra into, he could change its mass, shape, and even integrity. As Naruto kept using his abilities more and more, he noticed that he felt these weird angry urges. He staved them off, but well after his last shape manipulation he felt his anger skyrocket, and he charged a random cat. His blue eyes were gone. Now replacing them were a black scara and sickly yellow iris. The cat he charged at just so happened to be a tiger named Shere Khan. The tiger stood on his hind legs as Naruto gave a powerful slash to his torso, but Shere Khan ducked in and kicked Naruto in the chest. Naruto flipped in the air, and as he landed he freaked out and opened his mouth as a white pasty substance emerged. It first formed on the left half of his face, increasing the pressure of his chakra and giving him a quarter of some strange mask. Is that Sage Mode? Shere Khan asked, noticing the red markings around his mask's eyelids. Naruto gave a slash and out came a moon-shaped arc of condensed chakra, yet unlike his earlier lighter green color, this one was a very dark green close to black color. Who are you? Where is Naruto? Shere Khan asked, seeing the being rush at him. It said nothing as he gave a wild slash to Shere Khan's now visible claw. Naruto pressed down hard on Shere Khan, but the tiger was incredibly strong, so he pushed Naruto back, forcing the blonde to Taito to the left, or hit the hard tree behind him. I see you seem to have lost your speech. Sorry Naruto, but until I can figure out what this mask is I'm going to have to knock you out, Shere Khan said, running at Naruto. Naruto responded by running with a great sonic boom, making him go pretty much invisible. Shere Khan would have died if not for his massive amounts of yearly training, for the kick Naruto gave was at a speed almost too fast for the tiger to see. He dodged on sheer experience, and then he gave the half-masked Naruto a chop to the neck, knocking him out, and causing the mask to fall and flake off. That's some power you got there, and that mask, you would have killed a Jounin by now or a weaker tiger cub. Luckily I'm not weak and now we can fix you up. I don't know what that was, but until we can control it no more shirkai for you Naruto, don't need you accidentally killing a cub, Shere Khan said, picking Naruto up and walking towards the healing tent. Whatever that was, it lies dormant in Naruto, yet I sense it was like a base instinct trying to protect him. I sensed something like Sage Chakra, yet it wasn't our Sage Mode, or the lines around his eyes would have been blue like always mother's used to be. Naruto, just what are you? The tiger thought, walking in silence. As he left the battleground he never saw the mask fragments meld and turn into a full mask before vanishing in a black smoke. 2 months later, real world. Naruto's clone had had a very difficult 2 months. Between the hypocritical Jounin sensei telling his father about him, thus raising his sealing methods, and the same sensei not really training him, and Aoi, he felt himself hating Konoha now. He had just finished his last of the 10 mandated missions, and was about to go file for a name change and a new house, but well, Minato his father stopped that with a quick seal to the neck, knocking him unconscious. He couldn't keep the blonde locked up forever. They did have a C rank mission the next day, and well, if Naruto didn't show up that would look very bad for both blondes. Right now he was currently in his room, which was basically the basement, but well, with all the seal changes it looked more like a prison dungeon. Naruto was at the very bottom under 3 flights of steps and in a dark room with barely little visibility. On his back was the toughest weight restriction seal knock to man, and it had 8-point sealing locks, meaning the more movement you made the tighter they get. Naruto's arms were in crucifixion position with 2 seals on each wrist to effectively stop all movement in his arms. All around the walls of the basement were multiple seals designed to send jolts of pain to Naruto's nerves should he escape. Also there was one last line of defense, a seal that alerted Minato if Naruto ever escaped, and well, let's just say if that happened Minato would have Naruto in Inochi's house, getting the boy's mind wiped clean. I should really give Minato his props on these seals. They are truly amazing, but all good things must come to an end. Naruto thought, figuring out a way to escape, and well, it involved that seal he stole from Naruto 2 months ago. He had finally had enough outside time to reverse engineer it, and now it was designed to loosen up the 8-point steel enough for Naruto to completely break it. Then he'd use the nerve seals to break the wrist seal restraints, and then he'd be on his way out of this hell. Naruto knew Minato had one hidden seal, but he figured he'd deal with it when he got there. Currently he had Aoi and Sasuke waiting at a house that they all bought for them to live in together. Sasuke didn't want to stay in the empty Uchiha compound, and Aoi didn't really like her stipend house. He just had to escape the seals, sign the paperwork, and he was free. Naruto was about to initiate his plan when his mother came down to the basement and opened the door. Naruto closed his eyes and held his head down, acting like he was completely drained. His mother's footsteps reverberated across the walls as she strutted down the flight. When she reached the bottom she came up to Naruto and set down a tray of food in front of him. You know, I used to really enjoy your presence, Naruto. You really were a great son, but then somewhere along the line you became this. You became this troublemaker, and I as a proud mother won't stand for it. Your punishment was made by me this time. 6 months in here, no other activities, and certainly no leaving. Kushina said, walking around Naruto's still form. Naruto right now was fuming as his hatred for his mother rose higher and higher. She didn't care much for him because of shit that was out of his control right now. People blamed him for their shortcomings and for mistakes, for their amusement, and she blindly goes along with it. That crossed the line. This woman was no longer a mother of his. She has been at this crap for 12 years of his life, and he would not let it become 13. Kushina then slapped Naruto, and tears slid down her face. You're my son, yet you became this horrible person who breaks people's stuff, steals, and even vandalizes other property. Then you have the nerve to call your own sisters, your sisters the same ones who are the chosen children of prophecy. Whores. I'm so mad at you right now. but I am controlling my anger because it hurts me to hurt you, Kushina said while pacing more. Naruto gave a dark smirk seeing another bypass seal float and land in the palm of his hand. Kushina thought he was laughing at her, which had infuriated her, so she kicked him in the gut and glared before leaving to walk back up the steps. As she started up the steps, Naruto opened his now yellow and black eyes and glared evilly. Whore, you better be glad I got the seal off you, because if I didn't I would so pay you back for that kick to the gut. That shit hurt, Naruto thought vehemently. He then took his mind off that matter and concentrated chakra into the seal in his hand. He got a message from his original not too long ago telling him about his new power of pure shape manipulation. Though he was just a blood clone, he still retained all things naturally available to the user, so he used his shape manipulation to change the kanji on the tag from allow pass to extra burst. Sealing world, Naruto's basically tied down like Tai Lung form Kung Fu Panda. Naruto glared as he concentrated on using his chakra to slip the release tag into the locking mechanism on the turtle on his back. He slapped it around with chakra before hearing the 8-point pins release, and wind up signifying for him to get started. He breathed in deeply before using all his might, and pushing the weight turtle off his back with pure chakra. One of the seal guards set in place by Minato saw this and alerted the system to Naruto's attempt, so it sent a chain to the entire room. As all the yelling and commotion was happening, Naruto slowly stood up as he pulled up the force of 6-ton boulders on each arm. They were way too heavy, but then Naruto saw the nerve seal guards at the ready. They then fired and shot crossbow-looking needles at him, which he dodged, but they left him enclosed with nowhere else to go. Another seal jolt launched at him, but Naruto used it to his advantage and let it hit the nerves around his right arm. These nerves were what tethered the seal to his arm, so when they were put to sleep the seal fell right off. Naruto then looked at his arms before pushing chakra into it, and controlling it with strings he made from his left arm. Naruto clamped his hand around the seal and pulled on the shackle-like seal before it snapped, and released his left arm. He then poked his right arm with his left hand and sent his blood rushing to the arm with the use of a miniature Nizanai Suki. He then used chakra to reconnect the nerves just as the seals reset themselves and got ready for the second wave of nerve shots. Another nerve arrow was loaded into the seal, but Naruto saw what was happening, so he formulated a plan with the pikes surrounding him. He then smirked before picking them up and then kicking them into the walls lining the cave-like basement, and then as the one loaded up into the seal shot towards him, he coated his right hand in chakra and then released it all the second he touched the arrow. The effect was just like Tsunade's super strength jutsu. Naruto looked on as the arrow embedded itself into the wall, and then he cracked his head and then jumped onto the arrow behind him. He then used it as a trampoline and bounded to the first arrow in the wall. He then jumped to the next and then the one after that, but as he approached the last one, the seal defenders shot a bunch of mini nerve arrows designed to lock his body up. Naruto grunted before jumping for the gap left in the seals. This gap was made so the seals wouldn't overheat and malfunction, but for Naruto it served as a free zone where he couldn't be harmed. Minato had built a precaution in the free zone in the event Naruto ever made it there, so it was cut out of the seal, sending Naruto back down to the bottom. The two seal defenders who cut it laughed, but Naruto appeared and destroyed them before using the seal kanji left over from the free zone to jump and swing upward. The blonde launched and then landed on the second level of the seal, and in front of him were about 30 seal defenders. Naruto ran towards them and dodged as he destroyed the first 3 in a spin kick. He then kept moving and punching each one he saw, taking down more and more of their numbers. One of the seal defenders took off its black inky arm and used it as a club, but Naruto destroyed him and took his club. He then ran up the connector steps to level 3, which was 2 levels before the last one. More defenders rushed to him, but he still had the club in his hand and he bashed every defender approaching him. One appeared behind him and Kaya cried, but Naruto stuck the club in his mouth and then kicked him, making him fly into the other defenders, destroying the majority of them before Naruto caught the same defender and threw him into the level 4 connector. Naruto destroyed the connector, making all the lower seals melt and fall to the bottom of the pit, but unknown to Naruto they formed a seal that said mind erase, so if he fell he would lose all his memory. Naruto climbed up to level 4 and gave a flip before jumping up to level 5. He saw the last of the defenders standing on the side with the seal release valve, and they taunted him, ready to use all 3 of Minato's contingency plans. Naruto growled before running to them, but they activated the first plan, causing Naruto to slow down. It was then Naruto realized what the plan was. Minato knew the arrows wouldn't be enough, so he coated them with an odorless and invisible sealed nerve toxin designed to slow down movements. Damn you, Minato, I won't lose to this, Naruto clone thought before remembering the energy burst tag he made earlier. Now it would come in handy. Naruto still approached the defenders and he saw one defender that looked a lot like a child version of him. He sighed, seeing that was the response unit in the seal designed to inform Minato of what was happening, but he then smirked, seeing as to how he could work that in his favor. It supposedly recoded every word and thing he said or did, so he'd leave his own personal message to his father. Naruto got closer to the defenders, but they decided to use the second contingency plan and destroy the seal with Naruto in it, and then use the third plan to wipe his memory and trap him in the seal until he was released. One of the defenders shot an arrow into the ceiling, and it exploded, causing the rocky array to falter before it fell and destroyed the bridge. Naruto saw that his only chance was vanishing, so he jumped as the bridge started collapsing, but the nerve gas was running its course and he ended up jumping too little. No falling to sleep, Must take booster, Naruto thought while placing the tag on him. His chakra flared and then he looked around, seeing everything still intact, yet it was rapidly falling apart. Naruto then saw part of the ceiling was still intact, and it had a seal detonator on it, and he saw his ticket out of there. Naruto bounded up the falling seal kanji with great intensity. Each leap and stride he made bringing him more and more speed. He jumped long and hard as he neared to other detonator, and he landed on the closest piece of falling kanji. Naruto then ran with a strange ferocity and bounded much harder than before, and with his mighty leap he reached the kanji connected to the detonator. Naruto forcibly ripped it from the ceiling, and it started ticking before he threw it, and it hit the last of the defenders and the messenger. The seal collapsed with Naruto managing to get outside the danger zone, and now he was currently holding the messenger that looked like him delicately. Naruto sighed as he smirked evilly, and he petted the young him softly. "I'm glad Minato made you," he said, caressing the boy's cheeks like a pedophile. "After you wake up, you run and tell Minato that the real chosen savior has a new home," Naruto said while lightly rubbing the boy's hair. "I need an adult?" The younger him said, confused and scared, but he made sure he recorded the message. "I am an adult," Naruto said, kneeing the child in the stomach and throwing him just outside of the receptor zone of the seal. He then turned and exited the parameters of the seal before commanding his Sai to appear back in his body. Real world. Naruto awoke from his battle with the seal and noticed he was able to move around. "Phew, glad I made that energy seal at the last second, or I may have lost that fight. But no matter, it's time to go home," Naruto said while walking up the steps and using his last seal to get out of the door undetected. In the morning Minato would awake and not see him in his room, so he would know he failed, and then as soon as he checked the recorder Naruto's message would come up. Naruto smiled with glee at his plan, but before he left the house he had one last thing to do. Naruto quietly walked to his triplet sister's shared room and pulled up an invisibility seal and put it over himself as he entered the room. He looked at Naruto and glared as the blonde slept happily, and then he looked over to Natsumi and gave a light sigh before he took something out of his ninja pouch. He went over to Naruto and he opened the marker he pulled out and doodled all over her face, even giving her a mustache. She couldn't feel it because of the seal he put on the marker, so he knew he was safe. He then went over to Natsumi and just stared at her still body. "If it makes me a better person, I just want to say I don't really hate you as much as the others. You tried in vain to get me to open up, and though you failed, thank you for the effort. I view you as my only true sister, but this is goodbye. Sayonara, Natsumi Uzumaki," Naruto whispered while kissing his sister's cheek for the last time. As he turned to leave, the girl twisted in her sleep and said something that made Naruto shed a slight tear. "Naruto and I-kun," she mumbled before drifting back into dreamland. Naruto's tear silently hit the floor and he hardened his resolve. The boy walked out the room and promised to one day make it up to his sister. He knew this would hurt her more than anyone in his family. Naruto jumped out of his window with only a ceiling scroll in his hand, and the clothes on his back. His destination, his shared apartment with Aoi-chan and Sasuke, his resolve hardened, his purpose to save the world. And, what if Naruto was trained by samurai for sword style? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.